Okay. I think we're live. Are we live? We should be live, I think, at this point. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me post this here. Let's wait on for this. I honestly have no idea. I don't go live like ever on the channel. We do not do a lot of live streams. So I don't know if people are going to tune in. I'm really, really curious. So we'll see, I suppose. I'm just going to wait a minute. I think we're live. Right? I think so. It's hard for me to tell, to be honest. Yeah. I believe we're live. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right, there's going to be a little bit of a delay on the stream. Shout out to you guys in chat. Hello to everybody. Indomitable Will. Ismail? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but one of the channel members, by the way. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. I'm going to wait a few minutes for some people to tune in here. Can you guys let me know in the meantime? Like I said, there's going to be a little bit of a delay on the stream, but I will be kind of communicating to you guys in the chat. So I'm going to wait a little minute, see if some people hop in here. We're going to play some ranked battles, a little bit of ranked battles. Maybe, and again, let me know if the audio is fine. I can change any of the audio if need be, so definitely let me know if anything needs to be changed. I was going to play some ranked battles. I did just recently hit Ultra Ball rank. I haven't really played much today. And like the first day I played a ton. I mostly played Darkrai in Giratina, and I got up to like Ultra Ball, and I haven't really played yet today, but I played the last couple of matches last time I was playing with Mewtwo in Giratina, which I think is actually extremely good right now, and I think it's pretty well positioned against a lot of the other decks that people are playing. So I'm actually really interested to maybe test this out and to play a little bit. But anyway, I think we just get right into it. To be honest, guys, I will be reading chat, like I said, so feel free to communicate. There's a little bit of a delay. That's just the way YouTube works. And yeah, I don't really have I don't have too much else to say. We're gonna make a lot of different misplays here. I'm definitely not used to playing games live, so I'm sure we're gonna make a lot of misplays. But anyway, it is what it is. The cool thing about Ultra Ball rank is I think that there's no like win streak bonus. So, oh yeah, let's show you guys the deck before we hop in here. This is Giratina and Mewtwo. So 1 copy of Mewtwo and 2 copies of Giratina. So very, very similar to like Giratina and Darkrai. However, we're not playing any Druddigon or anything like that. Mewtwo does enough damage to basically KO most things in the game, especially with red. We are playing 1 copy of Rocky Helmet down here, 2 Giant Capes. Basically, I think Mewtwo is very, very good in the format right now. You can go to 170 HP with Giant Cape and do 170 damage. Nothing can really kind of hang with Mewtwo from a damage and HP perspective other than Mewtwo itself. And then again, we're playing Giratina with it, so we can go +1 on and +2 on energies early in the game. Just really, really dynamic. A couple Pokeballs, 2 Giant Capes, Rocky Helmet, 2 Professor's Research, and what you're going to see here is basically a lot of different supporter cards, which I think is another big upside to playing this deck because it's such a low Pokemon count. We can play a bunch of different supporters. So 2 Research, 2 Dawn, and 2 Red. So Dawn and Red are kind of our main win conditions in this deck, which is why I have 2 copies of both of them. A lot of people are running only 1 copy of Dawn, but I've been running 2 copies. That might swap out. We'll have to see. 1 Sabrina, 1 Blue, 1 Leaf, 1 Cyrus, 1 Mars, 1 Pokemon Center Lady. So a lot of one-ofs in the deck, but basically just sort of maximizing our odds in the late game. Blue can also come in clutch in the mirror match. Leaf as well to help pivot out if we need be. So some extra flexibility in here. I do think Leaf is correct. In fact, I think there are scenarios actually where Leaf might even be better than Dawn. But anyway, that's the deck list. I probably should have it up on on the thing. I could probably do that if I'm being honest with you. But anyway, let's get right into it, guys. 43 people are watching the live stream right now, which is crazy. That's crazy. So shout out to you guys. I don't really go live ever, so I don't know how many people are going to tune in. I don't really know how it's going to go. You guys should be getting audio from the actual game itself. Normally when I make videos, I don't use like the game audio, but for the live stream, I don't have like background music, so I'm just sort of letting the game audio do its thing. And again, let me know if my actual audio is too loud as well. Okay. So we're going first, which is, not the most ideal, and we're leading off with Mewtwo. So I think the most ideal start for this deck is going second with a Mewtwo leadoff. Here we're going against Hitmonlee Marshadow, which is definitely really interesting. Red, Leaf, Mars, and a second red in the hand here. Okay, so this is a very, very interesting hand. Very interesting, actually. So we literally have to just pass. The one problem I will say with this deck, although extremely consistent once it gets set up and very, very versatile in its win conditions, the main downside to this list is that sometimes you don't draw the Pokemon. Like if you don't get your Giratina out early in the game, and there's the Pokeball, exactly what we needed. If you don't get your Giratina out early enough in the game, then it is like a little bit stressful because you kind of need like the second attacker, and building up Mewtwo and Giratina at the same time is really how we win games. There is a Hitmonlee staring us down here, but I'm actually not too worried about that. We do have a Pokemon Center Lady on the just sort of in the hand. We're definitely just going to attach to Mewtwo, and I think we have to bench Giratina here, because if we don't build up a second attacker, we're kind of just cooked. I don't think there's really anything we can do here, and we're just going to go ahead and Broken Space Bellow for +1 energy. So one thing that you can do here in this deck is to play Giovanni. Like if Hitmonlee becomes exceedingly popular, I think maybe playing one copy of Giovanni in the deck is correct, because then we could hit for 80 damage with Psychic Sphere, which would definitely be really, really strong. Giant Cape is big here. I think we always Giant Cape Giratina, especially in the meantime. I don't think it necessarily matters to Giant Cape Mewtwo, at least early on. And I think we definitely also just immediately pop Pokemon Center Lady to kind of nullify his last turn. Feel free, guys, to comment in the chat. Like, you guys can talk, do whatever you want. I will reply, even though I'm going to try to concentrate. I'm not like super worried about any of that. So here's the thing as well. Like what we can do basically is we do have one Sabrina in the deck. We could attack with Psychic Sphere and immediately put pressure on this Hitmonlee. I actually like that better than just Space Bellowing again. We have 2 Dawn in the deck, so even just having 1 energy on this Giratina on the bench is good, because then we could back-to-back Side Drive later in the game. But I think early pressure here on the Hitmonlee is good. Both of our Pokemon are full HP. Now, again, we have to be a little bit careful because this Marshadow can absolutely body us. What deck? Brandon, what deck do we use to get Ultra? Most of my games up until Ultra were actually played with Darkrai and Giratina, which I think is actually really, really strong. Actually, I just realized that the chat isn't subscriber only, so I don't know if that's going to stop some people from commenting or chatting. But it was I mostly played with Giratina and Darkrai, which I actually think is extremely good. But for the most part, I would actually say, do we go Mars here? Do we actually bring him down to 3 cards? He doesn't have the Lucario yet. Mars could be a decent play. I mean, he hasn't. I don't think it's actually worth doing. I'll be honest with you. We could play blue, so let's do some math here. Marshadow could possibly hit to up to 120. Does blue really do anything for us? I don't think so, because we got rid of. We already used our Pokemon Center Lady, so I don't think we play anything right now. I think we honestly just KO. And then if he does KO us, then we could use Mars later in the game. But I think we're kind of safe regardless, because basically what we can do here, yeah, we should be okay, I think. Because we're going to take a hit here for Marshadow. He's going to attach to this Riolu. Like, if we don't see the Lucario this turn, then it might be worth us playing Mars. There's the Lucario. Okay. So even if he has red plus Lucario, we're not getting KO'd, which is pretty big. But yeah, so that's doing 140. We are living, which is pretty funny. No Rocky Helmet, so definitely an interesting kind of situation here. Okay. So, oh, there's the Dawn, actually. That's... okay. Could Dawn be really important here? Okay. So we can KO the Marshadow, and then Lucario KOs us. And then technically speaking, we live a turn no matter what with Giratina, so we should be able to Space Bellow. Like, if we attach and Space Bellow, we have that extra turn buffer, and then we can go ahead and then just attack with Giratina to win the game, right? I don't think our opponent's going to be able to do anything beside that. So I think we just attach here because we're not actually getting the KO anyway. So yeah, I think that's honestly the play here. And then once he KOs us, we can Mars him, which I think is probably best for sure. But yeah, I think we have to side drive. This doesn't feel great because, again, we're not able to do anything with Giratina next turn, but it's okay because this Lucario is his only attacking option. So basically, we have like a free turn where I don't think he has any way to actually KO our Giratina, and then we can just sort of sit in the active spot, we can space-time Bellow, and we can attach, and then next turn have 4 energies to just finish off the Lucario. And like I said, this research here, so like we can play Mars, and I think we're kind of safe. Like I don't even know what he might be running. He's running Rampardos. Okay, so that's interesting. I think Mars will definitely be really good in this particular scenario here. I have actually lost a lot of times. I'm going to be honest. I've lost quite a bit of times to Rampardos. Rampardos is just extremely good. Like there are scenarios where Rampardos gets set up on turn 3, and there's really like not a lot you can do in those scenarios because it's just so much early damage, right? So yeah, here's the deal, right? We're going to get to 3 energies this turn, which is definitely really good. We're going to attach, and then we definitely just fly Mars out and bring him to 1 card in hand. I think Mars is still worth running, honestly. I think even now, so in the format where you're playing these like Darkrai Giratina, Mewtwo Giratina decks, like it's worth. It really is sort of worth. I don't think the Mars actually mattered anyway though, because he was a turn behind. If he had the Fossil a turn earlier, Mars could have been really clutch, but. Indomitable, I've been having a bunch of fun with Beedrill. Yeah, Beedrill's actually a lot better than I thought it would be. I suppose, like it's really strange. I think that Beedrill is good. Yeah, that's going to be the dub here. Beedrill is a lot better than I thought it would be as well. I really underrated, and I think a lot of people did as well. A lot of people underrated a lot of these new cards. I think that Beedrill is just really good, no matter how you slice it. The 2 energies to attack on a stage 2 Pokemon is kind of the sweet spot. Like I think for the most part, the only really relevant stage 2 Pokemon have either 2 energies or 1 energy in their attack cost. Beedrill's not doing that much damage, but the ability to discard the energy from the active Pokemon like basically means that if you can get it set up early enough and start attacking and putting on pressure, your opponent is not able to both consistently be able to attack you back because they have to attach energies to the active Pokemon, but then they're also not able to set up a bench Pokemon. So once you do KO that active, your opponent is in a kind of a rough spot, and they don't really have any way to like revenge KO you. So I think Beedrill's actually really, really good. 100 people are watching the stream right now. Is that correct? That is insane. I did not expect 100 people to be tuning in. So shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Going first again in Mewtwo in the active spot. You don't like to see it, especially with an Execute in the active spot as well. A little bit scary here. And so this is not a good hand. We have got, this is tough. We've got no research and no Pokeball. And again, these are the scenarios where this deck doesn't feel very good. Like we're running 3 Pokemon, we're running 2 Professor's Research, 2 Pokeballs, so we should at least get like the second Pokemon out like consistently. But you don't always start with any of those cards in your hand, and it can certainly feel a little bit rough, I'm not going to lie. And this is going to be Exeggutor with Meowscarada, which I think actually does well against our deck as well. Let's see here. Yeah, Dawn. Okay, so this is a bit unfortunate here. I might actually pop the preemptive blue here, if I'm being honest with you. It's just not looking super good. Does blue actually end up fixing any math? I don't really know. Oh, man, this is not great. Not great at all. If we were going second, it wouldn't be that bad, but we're going first, so it just doesn't feel good. No Giratina as well. When you don't get Giratina in your first couple of turns, the game is much more difficult to win because, you're just not doing anything, right? I am going to play the blue. On the off chance that he doesn't have Exeggutor, I think that blue actually might come in clutch. All the HP matters a lot at this point. This is Taylor. This is Mewtwo Giratina. Yes, we've swapped over to Mewtwo Giratina just recently. Our opponent probably has the Exeggutor, because, why wouldn't he, right? No, he doesn't. Okay, cool. So that's actually fairly relevant, I'm not going to lie. Let's see. What do we top deck here? There's the Giratina. So not too bad. We are able to KO this Execute. So this actually somehow ended up being, not terrible for us. Let's just go ahead and Giant Cape the Giratina as well. I think that might matter against Meowscarada. How do you say this name? Duck Lister? How's it going? It's going good, man. Going very good. Hopefully it's going good for you as well. Thanks for tuning into the stream. I don't live stream a lot, so if I'm a little bit awkward on camera, I do apologize. Taylor, just like that, I win. I mean, not technically, but I mean, we definitely have a good chance of winning, right? Giant Cape. If he doesn't evolve here, then yeah, we do win for sure. And okay, all right, okay. So All right, we got lucky there. We got definitely very, very lucky. Our opponent just drew even worse than we did, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, so that's, I think, the main crux of the deck, really. Basically, like if you don't get that second Pokemon out on your first, and by the very latest your second turn, it's very hard to win because you miss out on like 2 energies with Giratina right in those first couple of turns. Indomitable Will, Arceus folds to Beedrill. It's hilarious. Yes, it does. A lot of decks do fold to Beedrill. Mewtwo as well folds to Beedrill. Yeah, opponent definitely bricked hard. Zix says, I'm already stuck at 150 points. What should I do? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. 150 points in what sense? I don't know. Should I know? Stuck at 150 points? I don't know. I don't know what you're asking, I'll be honest. I apologize. I wish I knew, but I don't. Maybe add Iono, Brandon. Yeah, I mean, so the thing with Iono is that I don't think Iono's worth running in decks where you're playing a low amount of Pokemon anyway. You know what I mean? Because you can't play Research and Iono in the same turn. And in a deck where we're playing only 3 Pokemon and 2 Pokeballs, I think that it's actually better for us to just not play Iono because we would rather always play Professor's Research, and if it's in our hand, and if we do play Iono, we're basically going -1 card advantage, and we're not really fixing that. Stuck at 150 points in ranked, and you keep winning and losing. Okay, I see what you're saying here. What are we playing here? Origin Form Palkia, probably with the new... This is a very strange list. An Ultra Ball as well, to be seeing this is kind of crazy. Let's play Research right off the bat. You know what? I mean, I don't know. I think it really... honestly, my #1 recommendation for ranked mode... Do we put Cape here? I don't know what we're playing against. I honestly have no idea if Cape is relevant here. Fasting says, can you rank back to great once you hit Ultra? I don't think so. I've never lost like when I've had like enough low points in a rank, but I don't think you can go below a rank. I think once you get into it, you can kind of brute force your way out, and I don't think you can go negative, if that makes any sense. Maybe that doesn't make sense. I don't know. But no, I don't believe so. But yeah, Zix, so my recommendation, I think I got sidetracked. My recommendation is basically to always, yeah, research for sure, every time here. My recommendation is to find like one deck that you think is, okay, still no Pokemon. I don't know what's going on here. I am going to put Cape because I think Cape's probably just safer than Pokeball in general, especially with Giratina. We did draw into Pokemon Center Lady, which I do think is actually relevant, and we can just KO this thing next turn. My recommendation is to find one deck that I think, that you think, and that I probably as well think, everybody thinks, is like a really good deck, a top deck. I think that there's really like 5 or 6 decks that are really good enough to consistently win games. So I would pick like one of those decks that you like the best or that you're able to build, and then basically like just sort of really stick to it. And then really learn sort of the matchups and the interactions with the deck and the strategies. Like, I would recommend not, like, don't change your deck all of the time. I think that's probably best. There's a Pokeball, and it's a gold one as well. I really want a second gold Pokeball, but I just haven't gotten it yet. No Mewtwo, but there's another Giratina, so that's fun. So, okay, so here's the thing with Giratina. Giratina and, what do we have in our hand? Oh my god, I gotta look. Giratina and Mewtwo are kind of opposites in the sense that Giratina does damage to itself after it attacks, and Mewtwo discards the energy. So the upside with Giratina is that we can attack turn after turn, although we're taking 40 damage here, which is tough. Whereas with Mewtwo, you don't take damage, but you discard the energy. So they're kind of opposites here. I do think just attacking here is correct, though. Yeah, RS MMA. Just play Druddigon, Darkrai, and Giratina. That's what I did for a long time. And it was very, very, very strong, honestly. It might even be still better, but I think, honestly, Mewtwo Giratina does actually beat Darkrai and Giratina, just for the sense that Mewtwo can just sort of hit for 170 very consistently, and then like you're after you revenge KO with Mewtwo, you're sitting at 170 most of the time, so that's typically enough for you to just live, even though, like, you know, they can hit for weakness and everything. The Sabrina comes out. However, guys, we are playing Leaf in our deck. So this is why we play Leaf. Again, a lot of reasons why you play Leaf, I'll be honest with you. But no, definitely play Leaf in your deck. Leaf is really, really good. Definitely very, very good. I kind of think, I don't know if we have any moderators in the chat as well. Like, I don't live stream a lot, so I don't think we need moderators. But, like, you know, just keep that in mind. We don't have any moderators. So, yeah, we're definitely playing Leaf here, KOing the Skarmory, and then we're just sort of riding out and enjoying our life. Let's see. Robo Pokemon, loving your vids, man. Thank you so much, man. I do appreciate that. This is fun for me. Should we play Two Leaf? Listen, Ari, like you can play Two Leaf. It might be even more correct. Like I think One Leaf is definitely good, but I think at least One Leaf is good, but Leaf is just really good in the deck for sure. All right, let's see. Our opponent did concede. We're winning games, guys. We're on a nice little streak here. Investing with Cole. Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Maddie. You know, that's me. I do say that. I do say that at the beginning of my videos. This is fun for me because when I record videos, you know, they're not scripted at all, but they're very like to the point, right? I'm not just sort of like chatting. I'm like, you know, talking about things. So I don't get to just sort of hang out and like in sort of, you know, in a casual manner, which is pretty funny. That's why I think live streaming is kind of fun, even though I'm like half paying attention to these battles. But anyway, let's keep it rolling. Not even Iono saves me from brick hard. Yeah, Iono is good, but sometimes it doesn't work. Like that's just the reality. Sometimes Iono just gives you the exact same cards, and it feels bad. Dave, current rank, I'm Ultra Ball 1. I just hit Ultra Ball, so now I'm sort of trying to go through it and see what we can do. We are going second with Mewtwo and Pokeball and Research and 2 Dons, so a pretty good start, I think, but we'll see exactly how this goes here. We might get bodied. I think it's about time that we take an L here. Bastank, 2 Garnchomp, no EX, 2 Snorlax. Okay, interesting. That's a very interesting list, Secret Agent. What's going on here? Are you using Mumu or BlueStacks? I'm actually using LD Player, which might not be the popular thing to use, but it's what I'm using. Always Pokeball before Research, I think, for sure, to increase our odds of drawing things that aren't Pokemon, because we don't really need the second Pokemon. So in this scenario, we always play Pokeball before Research, even though we might draw the Pokemon. No, we don't. Okay, good. Mars, 2 Dawn in red. Okay. You should Oak first to increase the odds of getting Giratina if I want Giratina. But I'm guaranteed to get Giratina because it's the only Pokemon left in my deck, which is why I said Pokeball first. Does that make sense? What's the overall plan with Mewtwo Giratina deck? Basically, just set up both Pokemon at the same time. Your win conditions are Dawn and Red. And yeah, I mean, realistically, you just do a bunch of damage, and that's how it goes. Now, only 1 Mewtwo in the deck, which I think is kind of the main reason why. You don't really need 2 Mewtwo's, and I think it's more important to have Giratina, especially early in the game. Eon, I appreciate the stream. You're the best pocket YouTuber. I appreciate that. I don't know if that's true, but I appreciate you saying that. Thank you so much. We're going against Dialga, so Dialga, I don't know. I'm iffy on Dialga in the format right now, but your mom is Giratina. I'm sorry. That was out of pocket. Come on, Robo. That's too far, Robo. Come on now. Holy cow. Where did that come from? Okay, so he attached Rocky Helmet instead of Giant Cape, so which means I don't want to attach Rocky Helmet to the active. Do we play... Would Mars be funny here to half his hand? Could we play Mars here? What does everyone think? Should we play Mars? We can actually just KO this thing next turn. I actually... okay, here we go. Okay. All right, here's my reasoning, guys. I had an epiphany that's definitely not going to work here. What's in his discard? Just Pokeball? I'm going to play Mars because he's got 6 cards in hand, and then hopefully he doesn't find any basic Pokemon. I'm not going to attack him because I don't benefit anything by attacking him at all. I could have played... Okay, so, yeah. Okay. No, we're good. I'm playing Mars now. Hopefully he doesn't find another Pokemon, and the next turn we just KO Dialga before he's able to Metallic Turbo. That's my strategy, basically. Although he definitely has the Pokemon right here, if we're being honest with you. Or he got Research, so he definitely has Pokeball. He probably definitely has the Pokemon now. Although he already used 1 Pokeball. There's a Shaman. No, that's not an Arceus. That's the Arceus. Okay, whatever. You know, it is what it is. I don't think we ever lose. I don't know how we lose this game. Well, yeah, it's not true. I mean, not true at all. Like, once we KO this thing... Oh, we have Sabrina, though. Sabrina would be pretty funny, wouldn't it? No, so Mewtwo is going to go down here. Right, definitely. But we can KO with Dawn. And then it just sort of comes down to... Yeah, it's actually a bit awkward, isn't it? I think we do Rocky Helmet the active, now that I think about it. So that we can possibly... bring that Arceus down if it does Giant Cape, right? So we can take the KO. I think that's correct, right? I believe so. I'll read the chat in a second. I got to think a little bit. So we're gonna do this. We are gonna play Dawn. We're gonna play Dawn here, like so, and we're gonna KO on the Dialga. We have Sabrina actually, so I mean we don't. That's not even a play that I'm super worried about. This Mewtwo is going down to Arceus no matter what. The main thing. So this is probably why not playing Mars was smart, because holding Mars would have been smarter there for sure. Because now, if he goes and benches if he benches 2 Pokemon and plays Red, then Giratina dies next turn. So that's really what it comes down to. I don't think we played to our outs as properly. Mars is underrated. Yeah, it is. All right, let me catch him on chat. He's so holding his Pokemon. I know, he definitely was, right? No decks are S tier. Yeah, for sure. I think this deck is pretty good, but we'll see exactly what ends up being S tier. Ebb and Flow. Hey, just watched one of your videos for the first time and swapped to the Galley deck. Nice to see you streaming. Yeah, I don't stream very often, I'm not gonna lie, but I appreciate you tuning in. I really do appreciate that. In ranked, it's insane to see how impactful Red is. Red is like the most impactful card in the game, like by far, right? I think we actually might be able to GG him here. Like, okay, so here's my reason. If we play Sabrina here, it will force our opponent to attack. Well, I guess Sabrina doesn't do anything, does it? Because Shaman has a retreat cost of 1. Yeah, so basically if he benches 2 Pokemon and plays Red, then we lose. Although Red's in his discard pile, so wait, what just happened? Oh, he had to because he didn't have the oh my god, I wasn't even watching. That's hilarious. That's super funny. We're gonna play Pokeball to thin the deck, but we're not benching this Giratina because Sabrina, I don't want to get Sabrina. So yeah, I don't think playing Sabrina here helps us at all. I think we just Broken Space Bellow, and I don't even know if it's possible for our opponent to have like 2 Pokemon and play Red at the same time. Maybe he does, though. Red's like the new Cyrus, like how much of an impact it has. Yeah, for sure. How much did I have to spend on that gold Pokeball? I did max spend, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, okay, so there's the potion. Now that I think about it, though, like Potion Giant Cape would have won him the game, but unfortunately, he doesn't have it here. Yeah, that's GG. Okay. Yeah, even EX Mons use Red. Everybody should use Red. I think most decks benefit from Red. It's basically like the great equalizer to Giant Cape. When Giant Cape came in, I don't know if you guys remember, but it completely changed how the game functioned. We are definitely just going to KO the Shaman for the game here. Well, we could have just attacked the active anyway. I guess it doesn't really matter, but because we had Red and we were living anyway. Many cards were improved by Red. For example, Yanmega EX going from 120 to 140. I mean, that's an example. I think that the biggest examples of cards that are better now is Mewtwo. I think Mewtwo is a massive example of that. I think that Arceus gets better, but I think the fact that Arceus has 130 HP, or no, 140 HP, but it does 130 damage, makes it actually a lot worse than the other Pokemon in the game. Before Red, then having 150 HP was good enough, but now it's not. It really isn't. Gyarados is a massive example of this. I think that Gyarados doing 160 is terrifying. And then Mewtwo doing 170 now is incredible. I mean, it's just, it can take KOs. Like, that's the big difference, right? I think Mewtwo is much better now. I think we might actually see Mewtwo end up being like a top 3 deck in the format, for sure. Let's see here. Giant Cape kicked Mewtwo out of the meta. That's right. And Red brought it back in. That's right. That's right. That's very correct. Cheap Gape, hi. Hello. How's it going? Mewtwo returning to the meta. I think it is. I think Mewtwo is returning. VD, so I'm positively surprised with Leafeon EX and Meowscarada. Red is such an MVP. Meowscarada is good. I've lost Meowscarada a few times. I'm not going to lie. For sure. For sure. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the chat here. We are playing... Oh, no. Is that a continuous step Eevee I see? Oh, no. And then we have no other Pokemon. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Rocky Helmet for sure. I am terrified. I am genuinely afraid. Going first, no Giratina with Mewtwo in the active spot does not feel good. I'll be gonna. We lead off with Mewtwo, I think, more than you would ever think, having to Giratina in our deck here. This is terrifying for a lot of reasons. Continuous step Eevee, honestly, can like one-hit KO us. Palkia as well is just very dangerous. Arguably, it would have been better to not, save maybe Giant Cape for Mewtwo, but I don't really actually think that matters because this Eevee in the active spot could have just attacked us here. But fortunately for him, he gets Manaphy, double Palkia, X speed. This man is absolutely cruising here. This does not look good for us, gentlemen. I'll be I'll be entirely honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. You need Giovanni for the EV rip. Well, that's what Rocky Helmet's supposed to do, but no, it didn't end up actually mattering, did it? Okay, so we do have red in our hand. Okay, this is bad in a lot of different ways, I think. We're going to still attach to the Mewtwo. I debated not doing that. We also have blue in our hand as well. So blue might save us if he doesn't have like red or Giovanni in his own right. But basically, we have to attach to Mewtwo so that we can KO this Manaphy next turn. But like I said, if we do that, like, you know, it's not looking great, right? It's not looking very good for us. If we play blue this turn, oh gosh. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Tails on the Misty. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, so, I mean, technically speaking, we can still win this game, right? Because blue should stop us from dying to a Palkia. It should. I'm not saying it will, but it should. And then it'll also deal 20 damage to the Palkia, which should put us in range for Giratina. That's my own, like, headcanon. Okay. All right. Yeah, we have to play blue. We have to play blue, and then we have to attack here. We'll see if this comes in clutch. Just use grunts, bro. I know, but honestly, when I was playing Giratina and Darkrai, I was playing 2 Team Rocket Grunt in my deck. I was, and I thought that it was incredible. Okay, so he might just have red in hand. He's got 2 cards in hand. It's about to be 3. If we see red here, then it's GG, you know. Good play from our opponent. No red. Very interesting. If we draw into a Dawn, then that's actually GG, which is hilarious. But Glaceon? What? We see the Glaceon. Craziness. So we get hit for 140. Shout out to Blue. One of the most incredible cards in the game. Also go to the mirror match, by the way. So now we are in a very interesting position. Cyrus might just win us the game. We do not draw the Dawn off the top deck. Very disappointing, if I say so myself. Now, here's the thing. Pokemon Center Lady technically takes us out of range of dying to Slash. We could play Research to potentially draw into the Dawn. Just a thought. But I don't think it ever makes sense for us to even attack with Mewtwo this turn. So I think we always Pokemon Center Lady here. And we go to 40 HP, which is, again, hilarious. And then I think we always attach to Giratina because we have red in hand. And then we don't attack because we don't benefit anything from attacking. Although I guess, yeah, because we have Rocky Helmet. I don't like attacking here. Because technically he can like Giant Cape, but we have red. So even if he Giant Capes, Rocky Helmet should keep him in range. So Broken Space Bellow it is. Can we see the deck list after this? Yeah, I'll show you guys the deck list as well. I probably should have put it up on the screen like during the stream, but I didn't know if I would be switching decks at all. So let's see if the blue Pokemon Center Lady back-to-back combo actually ends up winning us the game here because he can't. Okay. Let's go. Woo! Uh-huh. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see, boys. I say boys. There might be girls in the chat. It's just something I say. Why is Giratina and Mewtwo a good combo now? Well, for the most part, you can set them both up at the same time, and then things like Giant Cape with Red and Dawn just make the deck really good. Mainly, Mewtwo is good right now because Giratina pairs well with it, but also we have Red, which allows you to basically take KOs on anything. Beansy, what program do I use to play on PC? I use LD Player. I don't know if you guys have used that or know what that is, but I use this program called LD Player, and it's pretty good. I think we have our opponent GG'd here. We got a little bit lucky. He flipped Tails on the Misty, but to be fair, I think what we did here was illustrate perfectly why playing blue in our deck is so good. Yeah, Giratina can Dawn Mewtwo as well if you need to, right? And vice versa, realistically. But yeah, it's just really good. I think things like Leaf, like Red, like Dawn, they're all extremely good in this deck list. And it's just basically you have high HP basic Pokemon that can do a lot of damage here. He's going to go into the Glaceon. We win anyway. It doesn't really matter. We can just sort of retreat and Cyrus up the Palkia for game here. Unless we draw the Dawn, we don't draw the Dawn. But yeah, that's going to be the game, I think, right? Palkia's 130. We do 130, which is pretty convenient. So there it is. There it is, guys. Look at that. This is why, I really think blue is good in the deck. And I think Leaf is good in the deck as well. I think we've already seen Leaf win us the game. So all of these cards have a place, right? I mean, it's about sort of putting all of the pieces to the puzzle in your deck that you need to. And then basically, hopefully you have them and you can use them at the right times, I think is really what it comes down to. Investing with Cole says, and Psychic has no good energy acceleration, so Giratina is the only way to do that. We have Gardevoir, but yeah, it's much better, I think, Giratina for sure. Now, can you prove that this is just better than just Giratina 18 trainer? I mean, I don't think it's very different. I think that Mewtwo gives you more opportunities, basically, to be able to hit for 170 is definitely an advantage. So I think basically just playing one Mewtwo in the deck is better than not, and that's, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, let me show you guys the recipe here. I'll show you guys what we're cooking with here. Let's pull it up here. So I'll go through it again for everybody watching. 1 Mewtwo EX, 2 Giratina EX, 2 Pokeball, 2 Giant Cape, and 1 Rocky Helmet. I think that Giant Cape is more useful than Rocky Helmet, but Rocky Helmet does win you games. So it's really a debate whether I think Giant Cape's more important. I really do. I think that if you're not playing 2 Giant Capes in your deck, a lot of decks you're just going to lose more than not. So I think you're kind of almost forced into running Giant Capes. So we're running 2 copies of those, but Rocky Helmet can be a really, really good additional tool as well to help counteract other people running Giant Cape, but also just sort of fix the math in a lot of different scenarios. 2 Research, of course, 1 Sabrina. I think 1 Sabrina, 1 Cyrus is still correct. I think it's just something that we do. I'm in Pokemon Pocket. 2 Dawn and 2 Red, those are our main win conditions, as well as 1 copy of Blue, as we saw, 1 copy of Leaf, just real flexibility cards to allow us to get out of certain scenarios. 1 Cyrus, 1 Mars, which Mars is very, very good in certain scenarios in the late game, and then Pokemon Center Lady as well. I think healing for 30 damage as well can win you games. So, I think the deck, I think we can change the list around here or there, but I think it's pretty good. And we'll have to see. I mean, it's still early on in the format. Iono, maybe. I'm not a big Iono believer, possibly. I feel like old Zard with Iono is busted. Yeah, I mean, Charizard has actually gotten a bit better. It's still Charizard, so it's not as consistent still as I think we would want it to be, but I do think that original Charizard is very, very, very good. And I think it could counter some of the top decks in the format as well. Let's see. You don't think there's anything better than Rocky Helmet in that spot? Another Sabrina or Cyrus? Rocky Helmet can basically force opponents to lose, honestly. I think Rocky Helmet is very underrated. We're going first again, starting with Mewtwo. Not great. Although we do have a Research in hand and a Pokeball. Again, like I said, guys, Pokeball first as well to thin out that Giratina because we're guaranteed to get it. And then we play Research for sure. Now, you could argue that if we had a Giratina in the active, then maybe you could go the other way around. But I think if you're leading off with Mewtwo, which we always seem to do for some reason, and we haven't gone second in a while. Pokemon Center stalls 2 more turns versus Darkrai pings. That's right. There's a lot of scenarios where it's good. Giant Cape I like, and Dawn I like. I would have actually rather have a Rocky Helmet, I'm not going to lie. But we can actually KO this thing next turn, which is awesome with Dawn. That is actually awesome. So let's see if we can get that going. Investing with Cole. The Psychic typing gives you free red every attack. That's right. I don't know exactly what that means. Sorry, Lax919. Have you seen Beedrill decks that have been good? Yeah, a lot of Beedrill decks are good. I don't know what the best way to play Beedrill is right now, admittedly, but I think that in the Ursa Days tournament, actually later in the stream, what I'm going to do is I'll actually pull up the Limitless page for the day 1 of the Ursa Days tournament, and we'll kind of talk about that. I think that could be really interesting for us to look into. But I think, honestly, you could just play like straight Beedrill and nothing else. Like just play like 14 trainer Beedrill. You could play Exeggutor with it. You could play Meowscarada with it. There's a lot of different ways to play Beedrill. I think Beedrill in general is just really, really good. I was saying since you're super effective in this game, you only get the plus 20. That's all. Yes. Yeah, you're right. For sure. Everything in this deck is weak. Oh, he brings up the Mars Shadow. Okay, good for him. Good for him. I like that play, actually. I was going to say that Riolu was going down no matter what. We'll play the Pokeball again to thin out the deck. Okay, so I got to think here. Because Mars Shadow's a little bit sketchy. I think we always Giant Cape the Mewtwo. Always. Always, always, always. We can just bench this Giratina. There's no reason not to. I don't think it makes sense for us to Dawn this turn. He's basically saying that he's letting us he's not putting any pressure on early in the game, which benefits us, I think, for sure. We also have Leaf. I think we just do this. I don't think we rush anything too crazy here. We're not one-shotting the Marshadow. So I think maybe I don't know. It's kind of weird, right? I mean, we have Leaf, so we could just go into Giratina eventually. Giant Cape might have been better on Giratina, but yeah, he's going to set up this Marshadow to potentially just hit us for 60 next turn, which would be... Oh, the Rocket Grunt. Oh, that's the Tails. That's a big Tails. Okay, so... Marshadow's at an awkward amount of HP because we can't really do anything with that, right? Okay, what do we want to do here? What do we want to do here? I kind of regret ever attaching to Mewtwo, I'll be honest. These Marshadows scare me, but if we KO one Marshadow, then we're kind of okay. It's just I don't love the idea of taking 60 damage from this Marshadow. I'll be honest. He's got 2 cards in hand. We could just attach to Giratina, Bellowing, and then play Leaf next turn and just start hitting with Giratina. Could that possibly be better? I don't think hitting the Marshadow with Mewtwo here really does anything for us, honestly. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. We could Bellowing with this Giratina as well, because it wouldn't really matter. But no, I think we do it with this. That way, if we, for whatever the reason, if we wanted to not play Leaf to retreat, the next turn we can do that. I think I'd rather just keep the Mewtwo energy on Mewtwo, though. Do I think Arceus Dialga is still S tier or even meta? I think it's meta. Yeah, I think Arceus Dialga is still totally fine. I think it's still totally fine. I just don't know. I think Dialga is a bit worse now for a variety of reasons. That Hitmonchan also a little scary here. If he attaches to the Marshadow, it's not the end of the world. He's going to hit us, right? And then we could go down to like a Cyrus play next turn. But I think just going into Giratina and hitting... Yeah, I really wish we put Giant Cape on Giratina now, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I really do. Because once we attack, we go down to 130. And Marshadow is just gonna hit us pretty hard here. Oh, he's not going to hit us this turn. Okay. This is a strange game. I think we always attach Mewtwo here. Because, again, the upside to attacking with Mewtwo is that it doesn't damage itself, right? So we're safe from, like, Lucario and, like, a red combo. He can hit up to 160 with red and Lucario with a Marshadow, which is very scary. Actually, no, 140, I think. But either way, that's still... Giratina's still in range. That's why I don't really want to bring up Giratina, if I'm being honest with you. We could play blue. Would that protect us? No, I don't think it would. I think we always just KO here. I think we just leave and we go into Giratina and we take the KO. Because I think once the Marshadow goes down, I don't really think we're afraid of anything here, right? So, like, technically speaking, if we get Revenge KO'd here, that's tough. And we should have attached the Giant Cape, admittedly, to Giratina to definitely protect us from getting red comboed this turn. Because, like I said, red does put us in range. He does 140 with red, which would definitely be not good for us, certainly. But honestly, after this turn, even if he attacks back to back, like he's not doing that much damage. I mean, do a Pokemon Center Lady, so 170 HP on Mewtwo might still be clutch. Okay, so the Grunt, we don't mind the Grunt unless he gets like 3 heads, but even if he does, like I don't, yeah, that doesn't matter. Okay, I think there's no S tier decks since so many decks out there are on equal or power level. Yeah, that's ganking. That's not a bad thing to think about, right? That's gonna be GG, guys. So, well, is it actually? I mean. Yeah, I think it is, right? Well, actually... Okay, hear me out. Do we actually... We don't want to attack with Giratina because then we die. So we might actually retreat Dawn and then just KO with Mewtwo. At least if we do that, it forces him to play Cyrus, right? Giant Cape would have been huge. We have Pokemon Center Lady. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? We have Pokemon Center Lady. What am I actually talking about? Yeah. We always do this. We just always do. Because now basically he has to attack our Giratina. And Mewtwo's living a turn from anything, so I think that's just game. I don't think we can lose. Ultra took away win streak bonuses completely. Yeah, they did. I don't know how I feel about that, personally. I mean, I think it's fine. I think that, I think the boost to get into Ultra is fine. I just, I mean... What's the difference in rewards? I think it's only like 80 hourglasses as opposed to 100 if you make it into Master. So like the rewards aren't that different. So I don't know. I don't think it's like that big of a deal. And I don't think the rewards are cumulative. Like I don't think we're getting like 600 hourglasses at the end of the competitive season, right? Rocky Helmet. Rocky Helmet doesn't matter. If we draw into Sabrina, then I think, I mean, whatever. None of this matters, I'll be honest with you. Because we're not KOing anything. Well, we didn't KO anything last turn, right? We got KO'd, so. Or this turn, so. Yep. I think we're in a pretty decent spot here. Our own Rocky Helmet is interesting. Let's do this. Okay, actually, can we bulletproof this even better? If we go double Giratina, Dawn is a win condition, but also if he Sabrinas us, then we can still win. Right? Because we have Dawn in hand, I think actually going double Giratina here is correct. I think that might be even more correct. Does anyone disagree with that? Right, because we have Dawn in hand. I guess we could get, like, Marsed or whatever, so maybe not. So maybe we don't do that. But honestly, if he does Sabrina and then he attacks Giratina, it's got Rocky Helmet, so Mewtwo will be able to KO anyway with Psychic Sphere. I think not having Win Streak bonuses promotes more Misty 18 trainer decks. I mean, I've lost a lot to turn 1 Misty. It happens for sure. It definitely happens. Beedrill Vespiquen is definitely pretty fun. All right, guys, we're winning games. I mean, have we lost yet on the stream? I don't think we have. How long have we been live for? I don't even know what's going on anymore. Like 40 minutes? We're on an 8 win streak, which is pretty good. I already won, Damien. Yeah, you're right. I know. I like to overthink things. I like to not misplay or throw games, which is very, could definitely do that. I don't know how long I'm going to stream for tonight. Probably just a couple of hours. I don't know. I mean, it's a Saturday night. Like we're doing, we're having a good time. This is fun. I'm having a good time. 250 people are watching is insane. That is incredible. Maybe it's not. Maybe you guys aren't impressed by that. I am in shock that 250 people are tuning in right now. That is pretty awesome. 8 win streak will give you so much progress quickly. Good for you. There's no win streak bonus, but no, I do appreciate that. Going up against Gyarados. So I think our deck does lose to Gyarados in a lot of different ways, but the upside here is that do we get the Mewtwo? No, that's fine. That's okay. Rocky Helmet, I think Rocky Helmet, like, unironically kind of wins us the Gyarados matchup. But Mewtwo is, I think, pretty important here. Not getting Mewtwo does kind of, it doesn't feel great. Let's Broken Space Bellow. Because we had Dawn in hand. If we led with Mewtwo here, I mean, we could have, well, no, we couldn't have an attack next turn anyway, because we were going first. Nihilux, I agree with Snorlax. I do too. He's a very agreeable guy. I think he's, I think he knows what he's talking about. So shout out to Snorlax. I think it'd be cool to add win-loss counter for each deck you play. I probably should do that. I mean, right now we haven't lost, so it's pretty easy to keep track at this point. Not gonna lie, you got me into Pokemon TCG Pocket. I never really liked the card games. I'm a great YouTuber. Thank you so much for saying that. That is extraordinarily kind. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I like making the YouTube videos. Honestly, I just love Pokemon Pocket. I don't get a chance to play it like that much, to be honest with you. Like, okay, what do we do here? No, Mewtwo does kind of terrify me, if I'm being honest with you. Giant Caping the active technically puts us out of range of Gyarados KOing us, but man, what is the play here? Do we commit double energy to the Giratina this turn and then we can attack next turn with Giratina? I kind of want to, but I also don't at the same time. Are we going to get attacked next turn? I don't think we are, so I don't think we need to attach Giant Cape or Rocky Helmet yet. I think we can make that decision next turn. And honestly, I'm going all in on the active Giratina. I think being aggressive here is probably going to be the best approach in case our opponent doesn't draw well. Snorlax, shout out to you, Snorlax. Hell yeah, live stream more, Snorlax. I don't have time to live stream. This is why this is a very rare occurrence, is because my schedule and everything that I do here, praying for Misty Tails. Okay, all right, whatever. Can I share my deck list again? Yeah, I'll show it again after this video here. After this game. Yeah, I don't get to live stream a lot just because of my schedule. Like, I work a full-time job and I have a wife and a kid, and I want to make YouTube videos, so I can't like do videos and stream. But would I consider adding a second Mewtwo? I don't know if it's really necessary. I'll be honest with you. I think having Giratina out earlier is better than Mewtwo, I'll be honest. Because, like, if you don't have Giratina, then the deck doesn't function. But if you have, like, 2 Mewtwo, the deck also doesn't function, right? So it's just interesting here. I think we are going to get hit next turn. So I think we don't... But are we going to get hit by a Gyarados is the question, right? That is the question here. We're definitely playing research. No reason not to. Pokemon Center Lady and the Mewtwo. Okay. I think for the sake of us potentially... Oh, man. Man, oh, man. He could evolve Gyarados. Like, I know he's probably holding on to the Gyarados. Like, it's probably in his hand. So, what we could do here is KO the Manaphy and attach Giant Cape. That keeps us at 150 HP, and hopefully he doesn't have, like, Gyarados and then Red in hand. I think that's honestly our best play. Doesn't feel great, does it? But I think we have to. Could have been a misplay. This could be a misplay. I get afraid sometimes being too passive. Might be the move to make videos while I live stream. Yes, but live streaming, like I can't be live for like hours every day is basically what I'm saying. You know, if I could, I would, honestly, but I just can't. I normally don't have like hours to play or to like be live or record. So yeah, he goes into Articuno. That means he probably doesn't have Gyarados, although he might, if we're being honest with you. Sabrina would be really nice right about now. And we're not paralyzed, so that's an upside for sure. Definitely. Leaf? Okay. Jeez. No Sabrina. Does feel bad. I think we always Pokemon Center Lady, but where do we want to attach this energies? Probably Mewtwo, right? Probably Mewtwo. Definitely Mewtwo. We'll go Pokemon Center Lady here. And then I think, well, I guess we can hold off on the Rocky Helmet here. And yeah. Okay, I mean, listen, maybe our opponent bricks. He is bricking, but again, he could just draw into the Gyarados now and body me, right? I mean, like, he definitely could do that, right? For sure. So, yeah. Like, a lot of the times I realized where I probably should have played Rocky Helmet instead of Giant Cape, but, like, you never know what your opponent's going to do. So I think always, like, playing to your out here, and here comes the Gyarados. I think playing to your out is always, like, you're the most likely scenario is best, even though right now I wish I did have, the Rocky Helmet on the Giratina, but it doesn't always, happen that way, right? So, it is what it is. Could our opponent possibly have not gotten the Gyarados off the Pokecom? What just happened? Wasn't he? How did he not get the Gyarados? How did he not get it? How did he not get Gyarados there? He must be playing something else in his deck. You and Lucky Cat are my favorite Pokemon content creators. Always pumped to see your next video, babbling about Pokemon. I appreciate that, McChicks with Chiz. I don't know what that means, but I love your name. And yeah, man, that's awesome. I love to hear it. I love making the YouTube videos. It's fun. It's really fun for me. And the fact that you guys watch them is incredible. I haven't been doing videos for very long. Like, I'm pretty relatively new to Pokemon Pocket. Did my game just freeze? My game might have just... Oh, there we go. Okay. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened. Yeah, our opponent bricked pretty hard there. That we definitely should have probably lost that game. I was running Gira Darkrai today, and I didn't get Darkrai until turn 4. 14? Jeez Louise. I don't know how that happens. He might have gotten a Manaphy. He probably did, actually. Gorgon, that's hilarious. He probably did get the Manaphy. But... you know what? When you play only 3 basic Pokemon in your deck and that's it, then you don't have to worry about those types of things. There's no win streak in Ultra Rank, M-Shaw. Or M-Shaw, I think. I don't know why. There just isn't. For whatever the reason, they don't give you like the win streak bonus. Sometimes you just get unlucky, man. And sometimes you get lucky and you win 10 games straight. Carnivine scares me, especially with Giratina and going first. Okay. So let's see exactly what happens here. Cyrus and Giant Cape. Do we... See, this is already scaring me. Like, this is... I think what we might see pretty soon here is the scenario where we dead draw. We do have Pokemon Center Lady in our hand. I don't know. I don't love this at all. Going first, Giratina, no Mewtwo. Although if we draw Mewtwo next turn, I guess it's not the end of the world. But yeah. Stop running Gira Dark because the average match just takes too long. Yeah, that is certainly something that happens for sure. Is it fair to say Mewtwo is back? Mewtwo is definitely back. Yeah, Mewtwo is like a top 5 deck but for sure in the format right now. We are going to get hit with 50. It doesn't feel great. I'm not going to lie. It does not feel great at all. There is a Pokeball. It's probably going to be another Giratina because why wouldn't it be? No, it's the Mewtwo. Okay. The Mewtwo comes out. Okay, so we always Pokemon Center Lady the active, for sure. But here's what scares me, right? Well, I guess I'm not. No, I think we're actually doing okay, because what we can do is we can attach bellowing. We can bellow, go to 3, and then next turn KO the Carnivine, but we'll only have 1 energy on Arceus, which means that we're kind of in a spot where we win with, like, Sabrina. I think, right? We don't need Giant Cape yet, though, so I'm not going to do Giant Cape in case we do draw Rocky Helmet, because I would rather use Rocky Helmet. I'm not saying that this is a winning strategy, but I don't think it's necessarily a losing strategy. I think we're not in, like, a terrible position. Psychic is back for sure. You feel like the game is too luck-based. It's hard to have over 60% win rate no matter how well you play. I do disagree with that. I mean, I think that you could definitely float, like, in a tournament setting, then, yeah, you're going to fall closer to, like, 50%, just because, like, you get ranked against other players of your skill level and better decks. But I think that you could be probably around 60 to 70% pretty consistently if you're playing, like, a top deck that's well-positioned and you're playing it well every game. Okay, we get Vine Whipped again, but we're going to KO the active, and then I don't know what our opponent does after that, I'll be honest. No red. Oh, no, we do have red in our hand. Huh, okay. I'm going to just throw this cape on Mewtwo for sure. We could play Sabrina here, but does Sabrina really do anything for us? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, What is DH Snake saying? What rank? I am in Ultra right now. I'm in Ultra Ball rank. Yeah, he goes into the Rotom. So we definitely Sabrina and just get damage off on this Arceus, and then we attach to Mewtwo, and I think that's GG, personally. Okay, now we can't Sabrina. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man moment. A second Giratina would be nice as well to give us some Dawn flexibility. That's my feeling. Oh, he Sabrina's us anyway. That's actually good for us. Why would he do that? Unless he has also Cyrus in hand, right? That's the only scenario where I think doing that. If we draw a Dawn here, that's huge. No Dawn. Okay. So we always go... Actually, let's wait. Let's wait to attach. What software do I use to play? I use LD Player. There's the Dawn. We can't use that this turn, unfortunately. Man, this is interesting. How is this going to end, right? We have to KO this Arceus, and he has to go into the Arceus to KOs, right? But he's not going to do enough damage, so I think, honestly, like, next turn... Like, if he goes into Arceus next turn, we just hit with Mewtwo. And then if he... Well... Yeah, it's unfortunate for sure if it's unfortunate for sure if he Sabrina's us and then KOs us because then we just don't... We need another Giratina to do like a Dawn combo to win, right? And no Rocky Helmet means that we're not getting chip damage down on the... Yeah, let's see. Does he have Cyrus? Cyrus KO here does, I think, win him the game, I'll be honest. Do I think the Mewtwo variant of Giratina is better than the Darkrai variant? I don't know. I think it's better in the matchup between the two. Yeah, he's got the Cyrus. So I think we lose here. I think the only way we don't lose here is if we draw into Giratina. I think we have to draw into Giratina here to win the game. Because we need the 2 energies and then the Dawn combo to win here. I think that's the only way that we can win. We could go double red. Oh! Oh! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, guys. Hold on. Hold on a minute. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, so let's think about this here now, because now we're cooking. So we could lose to another Sabrina play, technically, right? We always are just Giratining anyway. There's nothing really else to think about, I don't think. I would rather just not... I don't think we benefit at all from doing this, so... Cape my Giratina? I don't think we Cape Giratina. I really don't, because if we... Like, I don't think we ever Cape Giratina. I don't think it does anything for us. We would rather potentially have Rocky Helmet. Because red, yeah, but he can't Cyrus and red in the same turn, so what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter. That's basically what I'm saying. So this is bad. So he goes into Carnivine. Yeah, so this is where things get a little bit rocky here. He already played one Cyrus, though. So, you know, it kind of is what it is, right? The second Carnivine kind of, I think, did it for him. Let me think. So, I don't know if we can really do anything here. I think now what we have to do is... Would I say I'm at a pro player level? No, definitely not. I think we Giant Cape Giratina now, for sure. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. I think we have to retreat and hope he doesn't have Cyrus, of course, right? We have to retreat. There's no way that we can do anything other than retreating because we just lose if we don't retreat. But I don't know if we have an out to retreating is the thing. No Rocky Helmet basically kind of put us in a tough spot. Like, if we drew into Rocky Helmet, then we could have just KO'd Carnivine. Or forced... Like, if we had Rocky Helmet earlier, then we would have possibly won the game, for sure. What we can do, I guess, is Sabrina here, which forces him to attach. Yeah, so what this forces him to do is attach, and then he can't hit with Arceus this turn. I guess that does something for us. Technically speaking, I don't know. Yeah, D Snake, chill out a little bit. I know, just chill out in the chat a little bit. I don't want to have to mute you for a bit. Oh, he does have free retreat. Yeah, I forgot. Well, it didn't matter anyway because he had Cyrus. He had second Cyrus. Listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. We were like a turn or two late, I think, on the Giratina Mewtwo stuff. But yeah, I mean, going back-to-back Cyrus kind of won him the game for sure. Wheelchair Kev, hey, I just want to say I really enjoy your streams and videos, my friend. Keep it up. Hey, that's all right, man. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, he did have double free retreat. He had double pivots, and yeah, no, having Cyrus that turn kind of won him the game. But also, if we had Rocky Helmet, then we would have been okay, I think, right? Like, Rocky Helmet, I think, definitely was a win condition that we didn't draw into. But also, yeah, our win streak is done. So I think we're 9-1 or 10-1, I forget. But anyway, you guys wanted to see the deck, so here it is: 1 Mewtwo, 2 Giratina, 2 Pokeball, 2 Giant Cape, 1 Rocky Helmet, which we did not draw, would have won us the game, I think. 2 Professor's Research, 1 Sabrina, 2 Dawn, 2 Red, Blue, Leaf, Cyrus, Mars, and Pokemon Center Lady. That's the deck list. There it is. Let's hop into another one. Let's just keep going. Again, there's no wing streak bonus anyway, so like, you know, it doesn't really, I guess, affect us too much. But yeah, no, I think a well-timed Cyrus will kind of just win the game anyway, right? Or he had Sabrina Cyrus, I think. Either way, to be honest with you. Nothing we could have done. Having a ranked mode in a game that's RNG heavy is weird. It can go either way. Yeah, I mean, any TCG is very RNG dependent. I'll be honest with you. There's always like a skill level that comes into it. Blue saves Mewtwo from Palkia. Yes, it does. Also from other Mewtwo's as well. There's always like a skill level, like a threshold in any, you know, TCG game for sure. Double Pokeball, and then we play our research because we have both Pokeballs. Blue's good for rank points. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, no, I think, you know, I think there's I think skill is always involved. The cool thing about Pokemon Pocket, and I say this maybe not as often as I should, but there is a lot of RNG in the game, and the games are quick. So honestly, like, the biggest skill expression in Pokemon TCG Pocket is actually... Yeah, we're definitely doing this. No Leaf, huh? We didn't see Leaf last game either, which would have been big. The biggest skill expression in Pokemon Pocket is unironically like the deck building. Like, that's actually like the #1 most important thing. No basics on his bench that turn. Wow, that is crazy. That's crazy that we saw that. We always go to Giratina here because we got to keep the pressure up. That way we can attack next turn. Yeah, so I think the main skill expression in Pokemon Pocket is actually deck building, right? So that's why I spend so much time in my videos talking about, like, all of the interactions between cards. That's an easy win. Let's go. and how important it is to be playing the correct decks and the correct cards in your deck, and understanding like the meta calls and playing the correct deck into like an event or into rank mode. I think that that's actually the most important thing. I think if you want to be the most successful that you can be in Pokemon Pocket, and if you want to win as much as possible, I think the best thing to do is to actually make sure that you're playing like a deck that can get you wins. I actually think that's the most important thing. Pokemon Pocket, for its skill ceiling, being about long-term good choices you make, that's right. I mean, there are a lot of decisions to be making in the game. It may seem like it's not the case, but no, I really do think there's a lot of decisions that can go wrong, and you can make the wrong decisions in game as well. Low-key, just copy-paste the deck, though. Yeah, I mean, net decking is important, and I think if you're watching my videos, you're going to see pretty often what decks are worth running, I'll be honest with you. Surprised no Darkrai Giratina? Yeah, it is certainly interesting. Let's see, what are we... You guys are going off right here. Going first, will we ever go second? Deck building needs experience. It all depends on the most played decks and ranked. Yeah. But, you know, the cool thing about Limitless and the platform that we kind of study every day is that we're able to see what all of the other people are playing, and I think that's really valuable. This actually, someone, that comment who just mentioned that, we are actually now playing Giratina and Darkrai, which is an interesting matchup here. We definitely don't want Mewtwo in the active spot, that's for sure. And we're kind of, that's what we get. Okay. This matchup is interesting. He's going second, so he should have a distinct advantage for sure. But again, it really just kind of depends on you know, where the cards fly, right? How useful has blue been in this deck? It's been very useful in a couple scenarios. It's a deck. It's a card that can just win you deck cards games sometimes, but sometimes it's not It's not really, you know, needed, but sometimes it's very, very good. Man, should I run Palkia, 18 trainer version of Manaphy, or like Origin Form Gyarados? I don't know. It's tough, actually. I don't know which one's technically better right now in the format. It is an interesting dynamic. Yeah, Gyarados is probably the best. How's my ranked experience? I think it's good. I'm having a great rank time. I'm not gonna lie. What do we want to do here? I think we always cape Mewtwo. For sure. I don't think we need to play Pokemon Center Lady this turn, but I think we always attach to Mewtwo, and then we go up Giratina, because we do have Sabrina in hand. This is what we're going to do. Yeah, so many weird damage thresholds that blue is relevant again. Yeah, I mean, I think that in a format with red and Rocky Helmet, or not Rocky Helmet, red and Giant Cape, I think that for sure, I think blue is definitely relevant in a lot of scenarios. It might win us this game. We'll have to see. Probably not, but you never know. A Dawn would be really good this turn. A Dawn would be very, very good on this turn. No Dawn. That's okay. So we're pretty reliant on Mewtwo this game to KO these Pokemon here. So we'll see if we can make that happen. We're definitely going to Pokemon Center Lady. Now he does hit us for weakness, so we have to keep that in mind when discussing the maths and how all of that stuff works. Is the Discord for trades, please? Is the Discord in the live stream description? I can get you guys the link later if you're not in the Discord. Yeah, we have a Discord server and we have a trade channel. Oh, there's one, yeah, exclusively for trades. Yeah, M-Shot, yeah, I bet there is. That one's probably best. Pocket's very casual, even with the rank battles. I don't think they'll ever do a ban list. No, I don't think they'll ever ban cards in Pokemon Pocket. I don't think that's ever the case. They don't ban cards in the official card game as well, in the official Pokemon card game. Not even, like, at least in the standard format. They only ban cards in expanded. Dawn this turn would have been super, super good. No, I'm not going to lie. Would have been very, very good for us. Rocky Helmet, Giratina. Actually, well... Yeah, there's the Rocky Helmet. Oh, he puts it on Darkrai. I like that play, actually. This guy's smart. I think 3 cards got banned. Did they get banned from the standard format? I feel like they probably banned cards from the expanded format. That's what I feel, at least. There's the Dawn. I don't think it matters now. Actually, it does matter now. I think that's a turn too late. That's a turn too late. Because Darkrai KOs this next turn, but he can't Leaf, so he can't Leaf and Red in the same turn. So the most he's doing is 120. So we're actually safe next turn, which is crazy to think about. So unless we see a second Druddigon come down, I think we're actually in a pretty good spot. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? We don't need to Dawn this turn, actually. Dawn doesn't do anything. Because we can just attach next turn and then play Sabrina. Interesting times for us, I think, for sure. Yeah, I don't think we... Again, I don't think we could do anything. Yeah, I know, weakness, but he's doing 20, and then he does 80, so he hits us. So the most he can do without red is 120 to our Mewtwo in one turn, is what I'm saying. But, I mean, to be fair, like, we do get revenge KO'd, so that is something. That is certainly something. But we get the KO first, right? So does that change anything? Can't really tell. I don't know if it does. But we go Giratina Red, Revenge KO on their Giratina, right? Yeah, there's 25 ban cards in the expanded format. Yeah, there is. Yes, there is. Okay, so here's the deal, right? We Sabrina and KO. Doesn't really matter which, to be honest with you, because he's going to Revenge KO with whatever Pokemon that is. And then we have Red Giratina to hopefully finish the game, right? I don't know. Maybe do we? If we do, maybe we just Rocky Helmet anyway, right? Right? Should we Rocky Helmet anyway? Should we put Rocky Helmet on this Giratina? What does that do? Because he's going to attack the Mewtwo next turn, so I don't think Rocky Helmet really does anything other than maybe force the tie. But I think we would rather have, yeah, bringing up the Darkrai is correct for sure. I would say so. I don't think Rocky Helmet does anything for us unless he plays a Sabrina. Does Rocky Helmet ever matter? We don't have Giant Cape, so but if we had Giant Cape, we would do it. He might have Giant Cape, right? But he's not attacking the Mewtwo this turn, so all it would do is force the tie, and we could just attach it next turn, is what I'm saying. Right? I don't think playing it this turn does anything. I think if anything, we just play next turn if it comes down to that. So yeah, he's gonna go into Giratina. He's gonna take the KO. If he has Giant Cape, then that makes this whole game a little bit more awkward, doesn't it? Because especially if we don't draw our Giant Cape, for sure. But we could always research and then maybe draw into it. We have 6 cards left in deck. That'll be 5 cards left in deck. We'll draw 2. Let's see if he has it. I mean, if he doesn't, then GG, right? But I think they play 2 Giant Capes, so I'm pretty confident that we're gonna see it for sure. There's the Mars. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, Louise. And yeah, Mars Giant Cape. Listen, we got got. We got got by the old Mars. The old Mars defer. I was not thinking about Mars, I'm not going to lie. We got played. Yeah. Probably, and when I say probably, I mean we definitely. Although it doesn't matter, though. It does, though. Yeah, it does matter. Giant Cape did win him here. Because unless we have our own Giant Cape... Well, how do you do? How do you do? Let's go. All skill. All skill. All skill. D-Snake, please type less in the chat. You're typing a lot. You're typing a lot. Just cool down a little bit on the chat, buddy. Just a little bit. Yeah, all skill. I mean, we win those every time. Just a skill difference, to be fair. Outplayed. We outplayed him. Have I tried Meowscarada with eggs? It destroyed me when I was playing Giratina Darkrai. Yeah, it's very good, for sure. It's very, very good. You guys like that? You guys like that incredible skilled play? For sure. Yeah. In retrospect, it was incorrect. We should have played Rocky Helmet. I was not assuming that we would get Marsed. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, Rocky Helmet would have been correct there. We basically whiffed on it. Heart of the Coins. Speak for Pocket. That's right. All right, we're making our way. Thanks everybody who's watching right now. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys. We got to keep that in mind. Like Mars could always be coming down the pipeline. We got to be a little bit afraid. We are running 2 red in the deck though, so I mean, you know, it is what it is. She's got a 2-star Full Art Giratina EX from Wonder Pick while watching the stream. Let's go. That's awesome. Hey, we're going second as well. No Pokeball, no research, but at least we can go +2 on energy on our first turn. Attack on turn 3. Potentially, if we draw into red, then that's kind of a GG type scenario, but we'll see. We will see. Heart of the cards, baby. Mars is getting more popular, especially with low count of Pokemon decks, for sure. I think one Mars is always just correct anyway. I've been got by that Meow deck. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay. This might be the first time in this video that we're going against Weavile and Darkrai. And Weavile and Darkrai is actually, and I say this with like full confidence, is by far our deck's worst matchup, I think. For sure. Like the pace and getting hit for weakness, like this is our worst matchup, I would say, for sure. Definitely. Cape. Do we want to play Cape? Not yet. Not yet. I don't want to get too antsy. Like I said, there's so many scenarios where that Rocky Helmet, if it comes into our hand, could win us the game. So I don't want to be like, I don't want to jump the gun on the giant capes. Yeah, here comes the Leaf. He's gonna hit with the Weavile for sure, or with the Sneasel, I should say. And that is tough for us. Doesn't feel great. And the Rocky Helmet. Oh gosh. Yeah, this is not a good matchup for us. I'm gonna be honest with you. He evolves first, which is the correct play. I'll be honest. Double Rocky Helmet. Yeah, wait for the rocks. Just got 2-star red from the Wonder Pick as well. This stream's good luck. Hey, that's good. I'm glad to hear. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's fine. I think that's fine. Do we pop Sabrina? Is this an early Sabrina play? I don't know if it is. Is this an early Sabrina play? I kind of like early Sabrina because what it does is it either forces him into this Darkrai. Basically, it means that he can't attack with Weavile next turn, or any Pokemon for that matter. If we Sabrina, I just don't know if Sabrina's going to come in handy. Wait for the Revenge KO, but I mean, are we really going to be in a position to Revenge KO? Because if we get hit with Weavile next turn, we're kind of bodied, right? Because we're doing 40 damage, right? So we just die next turn either way. So I think we keep the active. I think at this point we keep the active. And then we are going to go ahead and Sabrina here. That's the correct play in my mind. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. He could just have the second Leaf in hand. This is a bad matchup for us no matter how you slice it, especially not having Mewtwo now. We're very reliant on red to take KOs here, which is tough because we don't have red in our hand. Doesn't matter which one we Broken Space Bellow this turn, so let's do this one. Yeah, he could have attacked for 50, but he didn't. Right, which is why I think the Sabrina play's correct there. Because we have enough HP technically to like not die next turn, right? Even with like another, right? Like, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he can KO us next turn. What is happening? What is our opponent doing? The red comes out. Okay, so now now this is where things get very, very interesting for our deck, right? So basically what he wants us to do is to KO the Darkrai so that he can attach to Weavile and then KO us back, right? That's what he wants. That's what he wants. The thing is that we want to be able to attack turn after turn with these Giratinas. We only have one red in hand, and we're probably going to come down to either Rocky Helmet or red to win this game. So I don't think KOing here actually helps us. Does that make sense? I don't think we even attack here because then we go down and our second Giratina isn't set up. And he's in the active spot with no energy. So we definitely don't KO this turn. That's how I read it, personally. So we do it like this. That's how I read the situation, personally. Our opponent is trying to like double time us here and try to bait us into being aggressive here, but it's not going to work unless we see... yeah, okay, so he attaches to the Darkrai. He wants to guarantee the KO, which is why he retreated into the Darkrai EX, right? He's playing passively, but if we... Okay. Do we take the KO now? I mean, we don't have red in hand, but we also don't want to get too low to where, you know, he can just KO us with Darkrai. I think we have another turn of being safe, right? Unless we see the Leaf come out. But even if he plays Leaf... if he plays Leaf, he's doing... So what? Weavile's doing 70, that's 90, and he can't attach to... So I think we're safe yet another turn, right? But we don't... What we don't want to do, though, is like if we attack here... what we don't want to do... Yeah, so we have to attack this turn, I think. It's a little disappointing, but we can Mars next turn. I think the reality is that if we don't KO this turn, what's going to happen is that he's going to be able to KO us with like a Darkrai ping, and then attack us again, which what we don't want. We don't want him to get the full damage potential. So we want to force him to hit us with an actual attack, and then basically Giratina, I think, should be sort of guaranteed here to live. We could also draw into red again. So we have outs here for sure. But the reality is that we're living next turn no matter what with this Darkrai, right? And we can play Mars. I don't think our opponent has any way to win this turn, which buys us another turn anyway. But we need the red. Okay, so we can thin with Pokeball. I don't think we ever bench Mewtwo though. Do we bench Mewtwo? Benching Mewtwo's interesting. I think we always play Mars no matter what. Do we bench Mewtwo? I just don't want to get hit with like a Sabrina play and then get stuck in the active because we don't have Leaf in our hand and we haven't used it yet technically. We've got 9 cards in deck, no research. Okay. Mewtwo's interesting because technically we have Dawn and that is a win condition. Mewtwo is a win condition, right? No, I think we have to attack. If we attack, we go to 110. No, because we die. We lose. We lose if we attack, right? I'm benching Mewtwo. I'm decided. If we attack, then it does 20 damage to us. We go down to 130. He hits us for 90 with weakness plus. So he can only do 110, but if he has red in hand... I lose if he has red, but he has 1 card in hand. I'm not attacking. I'm actually not. I don't think we lost, but I don't think attacking made sense because all it did was just give him an opportunity to win, right? I think that's all attacking did, personally. So I don't think attacking there was correct. I don't know. I think it depends. It doesn't. I don't know if it actually mattered. We could just top deck red, but then we go down to a tie anyway. Oh no, we don't actually because we have 40 HP. Oh no, we do go down to a tie. What is happening? Okay. Okay. We have our red, but it was a turn too late. Unfortunately. Tie it? I mean, we could tie it, I guess, but the game is so... No, yeah, no need to rush. I don't think we could have won. I think we just whiffed. Yeah, because he has Cyrus anyway. I don't think we could have won without red. I just don't. Because if we attack him, then he could have had red, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway because we wouldn't have KO'd him. Right, so it would have ended in a tie regardless. So I think we just yeah. I don't think it worked out. I think the main reason we lost that game, realistically, if I'm being honest, is that we did not get Mewtwo early in the game. If we just had Mewtwo from the very beginning, then we would have just had a way to KO no matter what, right? I think not getting Mewtwo there and also not drawing into the second red lost us the game. Personally, that's my opinion. For sure. Close game for running into bad matchup though. Yeah, I mean, it's super winnable. Like I said, there was just those two things really mattered. If we had a Mewtwo from like turn 1 or even turn 2, then we would have had a 150 damage attack for game. But we didn't draw into Mewtwo early enough, and then we also didn't draw into red, which is why we weren't able to take the KO there basically. So we kind of had to roll the dice. This is 1 Mewtwo, 2 Giratina, 2 Pokeball, 2 Giant Cape, 1 Rocky Helmet, 2 Professor's Research, 1 Sabrina, 2 Dawn, 2 Red, 1 Blue, 1 Leaf, 1 Cyrus, Mars, and Pokemon Center Lady. We might have been able to play Blue here at that game, and technically, maybe we did have an out with Blue. No, because, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Blue might have kept us above that threshold, and then if we top decked Red, then maybe we would have been able to win, but I don't know. He was playing very cautiously. He was probably thinking the same thing. Yeah, I mean, listen, we also Mars'd him like into Cyrus, right? So Mewtwo more like Mew 1, am I right? That's right. That's right. That's a great way to put it. Going second, Giratina, Pokeball, we might be able to have the Mewtwo. So that's all good news. If we pull Mewtwo off this Pokeball, then that's good for us for sure. We'll see. Meowscarada is also terrifying. I get scared of this Pokemon. Meowscarada is scary because it goes to 150 or 160 with Giant Cape. So we're unable to KO it with Giratina, which is again not ideal, right? Is this Mewtwo? Nah. Okay. That scares me a little bit, but we are going second, so by turn 3 we can attack. So if he gets a little bit unlucky with finding his Meowscarada, then we can potentially win. Also, if we draw Giant Cape, then we can still attack on turn 3, even if he has Meowscarada. 160 HP, yeah. So basically, without even with Mewtwo, I guess. So Rocky Helmet's pretty important here if he gets, yeah. I don't know. This is a weird matchup for us for sure. He Ionos us. I don't actually mind that. I'll be honest with you. I don't mind that. Rocky Helmet, that's big actually. Mars, Giant Cape, and a Research. Hey. If he doesn't evolve this turn, he loses pretty much, is how I see it. We'll see if he does. 160 HP on Cap non-EX is very powerful since you can't red. It's, yeah, for sure. If Meowscarada ever became really popular, though, we could just play Giovanni in our deck, to keep in mind. Yeah, so our opponent, unfortunately, does not get the evolution there, although we're playing... Okay. This is a little bit scary, for sure. I think Rocky Helmet's correct, personally, because of Beedrill's 170 HP. That's how I see this matchup. I think Rocky Helmet wins us the game here. It fixes the Beedrill math. Double red as well, which is hilarious. Yeah, I think we always commit here. I think we have to Rocky Helmet because, like I said, Beedrill's going to hit us, and we would like to be able to revenge KO with red, right? So, I mean, we can cape the other Giratina, right? Yeah. So I think this is the play here, and I think it's always better to split, right? There's no reason not to split here. I think we always just split. Meow, Leafeon, Beedrill, a lot of Pokemon. There is a lot of Pokemon for sure, but terrifying. Beedrill also can just basically auto win you the game. There's the Sabrina. That's sort of why we split, right? I mean, that does actually matter, in a funny way, which is pretty funny. If we had Dawn, then we could still take the KO on the active because we could. Oh no, I don't think we could have. No. Yeah, this is where it gets a little iffy. I'll be honest with you. The Sabrina, early Sabrina play, it's legit. I mean, that's how you win this matchup if you're our opponent there. The Pokemon Center Lady's huge, actually, though. Pokemon Center Lady's massive. That's a crazy top deck, right? I think that puts us out of range of Meowscarada, so we like that. We like that play. I'll be honest with you. We like that play. 160, he can't KO us with Meowscarada, even if he has it. And then we will KO him back. And we're still living, actually, unless we see a Rocky Helmet, which is pretty crazy. So, but if he evolves the Kakuna, if he evolves into the Weedle here as well, if he has both evolutions, then another Iono. If he Ionos himself into both Meowscarada and Kakuna here, I will throw a fit. That's what I'll do. I'll throw a fit. There's one. Okay, all right. And now he's going for the paralysis. This is why this deck can win. I'll tell you what, because he's also playing Team Flare Grunt or Team Rocket Grunt as well, right? No paralysis. That's what we like to see. Okay. I'm feeling a little bit more confident now, I'll be honest with you. And I think we always... Yeah, that's going to be... Okay. Anyway. Beedrill's really good. It's just RNG. It's a bit less consistent in its approach than a lot of other decks, but I've lost to some Beedrills that just, finding their evolution Pokemon, they're hitting Team Rocket Grunts, they're doing all that stuff. It can be extremely hard to beat that deck, but like I said, just a little bit inconsistent for sure. Just a little bit inconsistent. He's running a Sprigatito only for Help Cry? No. There's no way. There's no way he would not be running Meowscarada if he had the Sprigatito. Okay, let's do one. I think we'll do a couple more games. And then I think what I'm gonna do is maybe swap it over, and we'll take a look at the Ursa Days tournament in a little bit. And I'll finish the stream by talking about that. And everybody that's watching the live stream hopefully maybe gets some enjoyment out of seeing us maybe go through that data like we would in a normal video. Okay, so we have both Giratina and Mewtwo, but we're going first. We don't have what is it? We don't have Dawn in hand, which means I don't want to lead off with Mewtwo. That's how my brain is thinking, personally. Could you give us Dialga an Arceus game? I mean, I could. I don't necessarily want to play Dialga Arceus. I don't think it's very good in the format. Hello, Snorlax. Hello. Snorlax, Meowscarada. This was in my video today. This is a legitimate deck. This is a fully legitimate deck. Also a bit RNG dependent for sure, but a very legitimate deck here that we could easily lose to. We get Iono'd. These people like their Ionos, I'll tell you what, but it also helps me sometimes, that's for sure. There's a Cyrus, a Pokeball, and a Mars, and a Dawn. I don't know if it all matters, I'll be honest. The Rocky Helmet I probably should have attached, actually, now that I think about it, because we can't KO the Snorlax. But he attached to the Sprigatito, so not phased. We are committing now to the Mewtwo, for sure. Please do a video laying out the technical aspects of advanced gameplay. So I've been thinking about that as well, but I don't really consider myself like a competitive player or like a really top-level player, personally. You guys might think I'm a good player, but I don't think I'm as good as a lot of other people that play this game. Haven't we all seen 1,000 Arceus Dialga games? Yeah, that's true, to be honest. Do I prefer the Psychic Giratina over the Darkrai variant? I've played a lot of games of both. I think that when they go head-to-head, I think Mewtwo has the advantage, personally. I think it really depends. I think they're both up there, but I think Mewtwo's a bit more well-positioned in the format right now, personally speaking. Okay, so here's the deal. Let's think of things that can happen right now. We could play the Sabrina. If we Sabrina him into Florigato, we could potentially KO him next turn, the Meowscarada, but he could attack us. I'm sold. I'm sold on it. I might have misplayed right before your eyes, but we'll see. Actually, we'll see. If he's got Meowscarada red in hand, then I apologize. I do, but I don't. If he does that, then it's GG, honestly. But oh my good lord. Oh, okay. All right. I did it to myself. I told you. What are the odds though? What are actually the odds that in that 4-card hand he had Meowscarada and red in hand? Can somebody describe that to me? What are the odds that he just had that in his hand? Like, come on. Actually, like, are we serious? Outplayed, outskilled, outmaneuvered. Yeah, I know. I was banking on that not happening. I'll be honest with you. I was fully banking on that not happening. We don't have Leaf in our hand, so Mewtwo it is. That's tough, man. Mistakes were made. This is what happened. We got too aggressive. We got too aggressive, and we're paying for it. Now, technically speaking, though, we can Mars him into no berry, and then next turn hit with Mewtwo, and then just just win, maybe. Potentially. Technically possible. You never know. Oh. Mitch, only until you reach Ultra Ball. Yeah, that's right. Do I want to rate your deck? D-Snake. I don't know if I do, to be honest with you. At least 3 odds, that's for sure. Yeah, 3 odds. Oh, the research, of course. Okay, so I think we can assume that there's a berry in our opponent's hand. The fact that he just giant caped there is crazy. Is crazy to me. The fact that he had Meowscarada, then red, then cape is really all I need to see that this game was not going to work out for us. If we're being honest here. And now we lose. We lose. This again, Giovanni would very much help in these matchups, but we don't see Meowscarada that often. Sag Cape, yeah. I mean, listen, this man has everything that he could have ever wanted, and more. I think. We're stalling. Rocky Helmet would have been nice as well, I'll be honest with you. But no Rocky Helmet to be seen. What we could have done is just attacked instead of bellowing last turn as well. I mean, listen, we did a lot of stuff that maybe, didn't end up being the correct play in this game, but we were playing to win. That's the reality. We were playing to win. Our opponent had all the cards he needed. And here comes a second red, I'm sure. No, okay, no second red. So shout out to that, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing. There's literally nothing like that we could possibly do right now to win. Red doesn't work against Meowscarada, so we were doing 150 regardless. There was just no way. Yeah, we'll ride it out. We'll go out in a blaze of glory, like right here. Watch this. I should have attacked and then just lost. Their Iona really changed everything. I mean, I don't know. The game came down to, like I said, he had 4 cards in his hand, and I was expecting him not to have Meowscarada and Red. Because if he did it, then he lost. But he then had Meowscarada and Red in his hand and put us in a really bad spot. And then I Marsed him, and basically we still had a chance to win that game after we played Mars, basically. Because what we could have done is gone into Mewtwo, taken the KO, right? Or lived a hit, KO'd him, and then he hopefully wouldn't have had Barry to attack with Snorlax, and then we just attack again and maybe win with Dawn. But he had every single thing that he needed turn after turn, so which happens, honestly. I mean, it happens all the time. You can't get upset when you lose, especially in ranked battles in Pokemon Pocket, because a lot of things are just out of your hand. You're making so many decisions that you think are the right decision based off of statistics and probability of what might happen. But you never know what is going to happen, right? All you can do is make the decisions that you think are giving you the best chance to win. And sometimes those end up being, not correct. But, it is what it is. This is a good hand, though. I actually like this hand a lot. Arceus Dialga is still very strong. It is. I think Arceus Dialga is still good. I just think that both Arceus and Dialga are worse. So I think there's better options. I do. I think that... I don't know if I have it as a top 5 deck, but if it's not top 5, it's definitely 6 or 7. It's still a very, very good deck, which we're playing right now, in fact. So maybe we lose to it. I mean, we just lost to Meowscarada Snorlax, right? So anything can happen. More RNG to this game than skill. It's debatable. I mean, I definitely think there's a lot of both, but that's what makes the game fun, honestly. That's what makes the game fun. If every game was entirely based around skill, then you would either never win or never lose, right? So that's that's the reality of it. So I don't think anybody would necessarily love that. I've been playing 2 Ralts, 2 Curlia, 2 Gallade, 1 Gardevoir, Giratina. It's interesting. It's interesting for sure. Yo, let's go, Mac T. What's going on, Mac? Shout out to you, brother. How you doing? We just drew into double red, blue, and Cyrus, which I like, personally. I would have liked to see a Dawn better than 2 reds, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, shout out to Mac. Everybody say hi to Mac. That is my brother. That is my IRL real-life brother, who does not play Pokemon Pocket, who does not play video games, but he is still subscribed to my channel, and he does still watch my videos, so shout out to Mac. Shout out to Mac. Top 10 decks are quite close together, which is a good thing. No deck is clearly the best. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see, honestly. I mean, it's easy to say that now. The format just started. The Rocky Helmet's a little scary, I'm not going to lie. I think we just KO him next turn, right? We always go for the KO. We could commit energies to the Mewtwo here, but he attached Rocky Helmet, which means Red KOs him. So we always just commit to Giratina here. How do I beat Misty? Because 4 heads Misty, bro? No, you don't. If your opponent is flipping 4 heads on Misty, you lose. And that's the beauty of playing Misty Articuno. Team Rocket Grunt for Misty shenanigans? Yeah, that's true. Team Rocket Grunt can be very good against Articuno, but also things like Rocky Helmet and Giratina can honestly just even still win. Like, it's totally fine sometimes to just let, your active Pokemon go down and then just revenge KO with red. Like, so, that can still happen. Because Articuno still has to 2-hit KO, right? Team Rocket for Misty shenanigans. What is our opponent doing here? There's a lot happening, and I don't really know what's happening. So yet again, guys, we're in a scenario where I think waiting an additional turn is technically the better play, because he went double Rocky Helmet Arceus, which means Giratina can KO, and we have 2 red in our hands. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty confident in saying that I'm pretty confident in saying that if we because what's he gonna do next turn? Play Leaf? Does he have 1 Leaf in his hand? How many people think he has Leaf in his hand right now? I don't think it matters even if he does. So we're gonna wait again. And we're not going to KO this turn. We don't benefit anything by KOing this turn. We don't. We gain nothing from it. So we're just not. We're just going to set up this other Giratina. Does he have a Leaf in hand? No, he doesn't. All right, cool. Dawn is actually really, really good. I think. Is it actually? Makes me want to commit to Mewtwo now, actually. Yeah, that's GG, right? We read this turn, KO Arceus. Next turn, we go up into Mewtwo, we attach, we Dawn, we KO Arceus, GG. Sounds like a plan to me. Sounds like a plan to me. 17 trainer deck, but nowhere near as lame as the 18 trainer decks. I mean, it's funny how one card can kind of change that. I actually realized that I can't attack this turn, so I kind of just threw. You guys are distracting me. I honestly kind of threw this game. I still think we win though. Let's see. Do we Giratina or do we Giratina? I think that we play Giratina. You guys are distracting me in the chat. I think that's the first time I've actually been distracted by the chat. Here's the thing though. It doesn't actually matter though, and because he can't retreat and play red in the same turn, which means no matter what, we're not dying this turn, which means we can still, because we have 2 reds in our hand, we can literally just do the same thing that we were doing last turn. It actually doesn't matter. What was that noise? I have no idea what that noise was. Something just beeped. I don't know. Was that did somebody, what was that? I don't know what noise that was. Might have been a dono noise. I'm scared to look. So he goes into the Arceus here. Yeah. He's going to hit us for 130. And then we just KO the Arceus, and then we win with Mewtwo. Wait. Oh, no, he had X speed. What am I talking about? I am on another level today. I am genuinely on another level. I don't even know what's happening anymore. We still win, though. Why'd I give that energy to Mewtwo, Sebastian? I was not paying attention. I'll be quite frank with you here. I'll be entirely honest. Hold on, D-Snake. I'm trying not to throw this game. There's another Dawn, so that's cool. Okay, so we're gonna kill the Arceus, go down to 140 HP, but I don't think there's any way that we lose because we can just Dawn twice. So we'll see. Was that sound from Twitch? I don't know if it was. I don't know what that sound was. I have no idea. Like genuinely, I have no idea what that sound was. Did you guys hear that sound too? Did you guys also hear that sound? So yeah, I still don't know how we lose this game. We're kind of BMing. Def was a chin. Mac. I don't know what that was. Bye all their energies. Facts. Listen, there's the giant cape. But I don't, again, yeah, it was a chime, not a beep. I don't know what the chime was. That's some noise, like if somebody became a member or maybe, or if somebody donated, but I haven't seen anything like in the chat or anything, so I don't know what that was from. Let them cook. Yeah, okay. I don't know why it took our opponent that long, to be honest with you. We gave him quite a bit of opportunities, but somebody was just asking about Arceus and Dialga, and I think what you just saw right there was like the perfect example why maybe we don't play Arceus and Dialga anymore, personally. Hello, how am I doing today? I'm doing great. Genuinely. I'm doing pretty good. Best counter for Darkrai Giratina, probably Mewtwo Giratina, if I'm being honest with you. But I think, well, Darkrai Giratina, yeah, I think definitely loses to Mewtwo, but I think it can struggle with Gyarados as well. Yeah, they had a horrible start for sure, but that's the problem with that deck. Like, our deck is cool because we don't have to lead with any of Mewtwo or Giratina. We can just straight up lead with either of them, and we at least have a chance. Whereas like Arceus and Giratina or Dialga just loses if you can't get any of the Arceus. My favorite deck right now are both of the Giratina decks, and that's probably because I think they're the best decks in the game right now, and I'm not a big water deck fan. So that's what I would say. I would say Giratina Darkrai, but also Arceus and Giratina, or not Arceus and Giratina, Mewtwo and Giratina, which I think are the two best ways to play Giratina personally. I did lose to Clodsire earlier though, so maybe Clodsire is top tier. It's actually crazy to me. So we've lost 2 games and we've won I think 12, 13, 14 games. And we're actually still quite a bit of ways to go in Ultra 1, which is kind of crazy. I will show the deck one last time, but it's actually 9:41. So I think what we're going to do is transition to doing our day 1 meta report for the Ursa Days tournament. Mewtwo, 1 Mewtwo, 2 Giratina, 2 Pokeball, 2 Giant Cape, Rocky Helmet, 2 Professor's Research, 1 Sabrina, 2 Dawn, 2 Red, 1 Blue, Leaf, Cyrus, Mars, and Pokemon Center Lady. If anybody's curious, Blue did win us a couple of games. Leaf has definitely won us games. Cyrus and Mars and Pokemon Center Lady have actually all won us games. So they are really, really good. Why not hit the new deck button? What's the new deck button? It shows all 20 together, all nice. Does it? What button? What button are we doing? Where's the new deck button? Oh, right here? No, that's the name. Oh, the 3 dots. Oh, view all cards in the deck. I literally didn't even know that function existed. I'll be entirely honest with you. That's funny. Yeah, here's the whole deck. There you go. For my money right now in the format, currently, this is the best deck in the game. That's how I feel, at least how things are positioned right now. Can you link your deck, D-Snake? Put it in the Discord. We have a how do I get the shiny Pokeball? I opened it in a pack of Shining Revelry. D-Snake, put it in the deck lists channel of the Discord. Joel, the new pack, Shining Revelry. It's it's the only gold card in the pack. Yeah. Shout out. Yeah. There it is. I think that was a pretty good session. Again, I don't know what our win rate was for sure. Everyone's using that new feature since it makes it easier when showing decks. Yeah, that's awesome. I will use that for more often now. Thank you for telling me that. Am I the only one who thinks Iona was bad 90% of the time? I don't think Iona was bad. I just think that some decks really don't benefit from it much at all. I'm going to use that when I get my 2 Giratina copy. There you go. Awesome. Good to hear. All right. So let us transition for a moment to... Let us transition to... is this even better than the Darkrai Giratina deck? I think it's more well-positioned right now, personally, and I think it's better in that matchup. So I would say Mewtwo right now, but I think they're both really, really good. What's up, D-Snake? What's going on? Can you maybe take a peek at my deck? I will after the stream. Like I said, post it in the Discord, and I'll check it out, and I can talk to you about it after the stream, which is going to be over in just a few minutes. So yeah, let's do it. So before we wrap up the stream, which again was I think a massive success. Shout out to all you guys that tuned in. This was incredible. I did not expect to get 300 plus people in the stream. That is absolutely crazy. And I never live stream. Again, I don't really have time to normally, but I think it worked out tonight, and rank boat seemed fun. The app was simple and clean, but lots of hidden functions. Yeah, it's true. Okay, so let me try something real quick here, and this might just break the whole setup, but give me one sec. If we do this, did that do anything? No, didn't. Okay, hold on. I broke it. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Bear with me. There we go. Some behind the scenes stuff going on here. And then we will enlarge to about here. Okay. So, let's get right into this. Let's get immediately into day 1 of the Ursa Days tournament. So, first and foremost, great stream. Hey, thank you guys so much. Stay tuned because we're going to be you know, we're going to be talking about some interesting stuff here, and I think there's a lot of info. The full meta report will come out on Monday, of course, but for now, this is just day one. There's a lot of good data that we can take from here. So, stay tuned. A bunch of people probably left already, but that's totally fine. Are you playing the non-EX Giratina too? No, I am not. Okay, so anyway, this is day one of the Ursa Days tournament. What's really interesting with the Ursa Days tournament this week was that with ranked battles in like the in-game ranked mode coming out, that a lot less people actually competed in the tournament this weekend. Again, a lot of people are grinding ranked mode this week, which I think totally makes sense. So about 1,000 people were competing. Ursa Days typically has about 1,200 to 1,500 players. This weekend, they have about 1,000 people, which is, again, a little bit lower, but I think a lot of people are grinding ranked mode, but should still give us a very large enough sample size to really kind of see what a lot of the top decks seeing play in the format are right now. So this is the standings after day one, which again, this is only Swiss round, so you got to keep that in mind. Basically, it's not single elimination. Once you get into the bracket, things look a little bit different because things become matchup dependent. But as far as Swiss rounds go, these are all of the highest placing decks in the tournament right now. I believe this is going to be a top 32 cut. So from 32nd place here down to Hitmonlee, all the way up these are all of the decks that are probably going to make it into day two. So what we see here, you gained 89 total points this stream. Nice. I don't even know what that means. Oh, in the rank ladder? That's cool. That's actually interesting. Okay. So yes, as we see, Gyarados did go 8-0. I think that Gyarados right now inherently is actually the strongest deck in the entire game. It's got its consistency issues, but it's still a Misty deck. Gyarados with red, it's got the highest potential, I think, out of any deck that's seeing considerable play in the format right now. It went 8-0. It got first place, but also 7th and 9th right here. And if we go down even further, we're probably going to see a couple more here. 18th, 20th. And yeah, just a very, very strong deck, and I think it's probably going to end up being one of the strongest decks in the game right now. One thing to note with Gyarados, can we see Gyarados? Yeah, let's take a look here. This is going to be just with the same Origin Form Manaphy Gyarados combo, but now we have a copy of Red with Rocky Helmet, basically able to KO everything in the game while also living basically everything in the game as well. And that's really what Gyarados does best. The high HP, Red bringing our attack up to 160 really does give us the ability to just sort of do everything that we need to do. Gyarados is absolutely incredible. I think for my money, probably the strongest deck in the game right now. Again, it's got some consistency issues, but the number one reason why Gyarados won't take over this format, and I'm telling you this, Gyarados will not take over this format, and that's because it has one direct hard counter auto lose, and that is Hitmonlee. So no, we don't really see too many Hitmonlees super high up here. We see a couple Gallades here, one here, so there's a Hitmonlee and Magnezone deck, a couple Gallades and Hitmonlees down here. So depending on how many make it into top cut, at least this week, Gyarados will likely run into a wall. And Rampardos here is actually running Hitmonlee. It's not running Sudowoodo in the like. So Hitmonlee is a direct counter to Gyarados no matter how you slice it. Most of the time, even with Giant Capes, basically Hitmonlee wins that matchup about 70 to 80% of the time. So Gyarados will never fully take over the format because it has a direct hard counter. So keep that in mind, but Hitmonlee's aside, I think Gyarados is probably the number one player in the format right now. One thing that you'll also see, and which is very interesting, is that Rampardos is still high up here. I think Rampardos is still a good deck, but it needs to be playing Hitmonlee, at least in the format from a competitive standpoint, as opposed to things like Sudowoodo. Yeah, the number 2 deck here, it's going to be the exact same. There's really not a lot of room in here. This is one Giant Cape, one Rocky Helmet. That might be more correct, especially with red in the deck. But for the most part, this is what you're going to get with Gyarados. I guess that makes it balanced. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For the most part. But yeah, Rampardos here with Farfetch'd in Hitmonlee is interesting. But I wouldn't think too much about the Farfetch'd. Honestly, it's definitely has its potential here. But for the most part, Hitmonlee, Marshadow, Rampardos, very, very good with red. Extremely, extremely strong. I think Rampardos still provides a lot of value. And again, because it's a fossil Pokemon, we're guaranteed not to lead off with a fossil, right? We have to have either one Farfetch'd, Marshadow, or 2 of our Hitmonlee as our starting Pokemon. And things like Farfetch'd can KO a Magikarp in the active spot, Hitmonlee can KO a Magikarp on the bench. So all of that stuff really important. 2 X speeds as well very consistent start, big damage in the late game. I think that Rampardos is probably still a top 6, top 7 deck in the format. We'll have to see. It still obviously has a really, really good Arceus and Dialga matchup as well. At third place, we see Palkia here, and this is, you know, I wouldn't put too much stock into this personally. This is just standard, you know, Palkia, Manaphy, Misty shenanigans. That's all this is. You know, it's a high roller deck. That's what this is. You know, don't go too crazy. Don't go absolutely out of your mind saying that, you know, this is a top deck of the format. It's not bad, of course. Palkia, Articuno, Manaphy, Vaporeon, these are all strong cards. It struggles with consistency, but this is still a Misty deck after all. And yeah, it can win. So I'm not super surprised by that, really, at all. To be honest with you, you want to see something surprising? Here is, in 4th place, straight up Beedrill. This is literal just Beedrill, and it's not that bad. Honestly, this deck functions very similarly to Misty decks in the sense that, you know, it's not like the most consistent thing in the world, but when it does what it wants to do, there's really nothing that can beat it. That's just the reality of it, right? I mean, think about how much RNG is in this deck. We're flipping coins, discarding energies with Team Rocket Grunt. We're paralyzing with String Shot Kakuna, and then we're discarding with Beedrill. We also have like Potion, Giant Cape to live extra hits, Erika's as well. This deck is absolutely really, really, really annoying to deal with. And like I said, if you get lucky enough with the deck, there's really nothing that anybody can do about it because it's just such a control-based deck. So definitely a bit of a high roll strategy, but is very, very strong. Very strong for sure. It maybe isn't as consistent as other decks. It's probably why we don't see many of them here in the top here. This is Rampardos, basically just another flavor with like Hitmonchan and Sudowoodo. So again, better against Dialga and Arceus, but not as good against Gyarados. Rampardos is still, again, also kind of a high roller deck, but still really strong. And then let's take a look at this. So, you know, we were playing Giratina and Mewtwo, and there's actually a couple of examples of these decks doing very well in the tournament here. And I'm not surprised. I think Mewtwo is extremely good. It's basically what you saw me play throughout this entire stream. I think it's a top deck in the format here. This is a little bit different. So this is 1 Dawn, 2 Potions. So, and Red Card instead of Mars. So I personally would rather play Mars than Red Card. I think that it provides basically the same value early game, but more value late game. So I like Mars over Red Card. Potion as well is interesting. I think maybe it could come in clutch, actually, in a lot of scenarios. I think that if you're going to be going up against a lot of Giratina and Darkrai, then Potion is probably actually a pretty good choice. But of course, we didn't actually run into many of them, if we're being honest with you. But yeah, so I mean, the list that you see here in the deck that I was playing, you can change things around a lot. You can even play Team Rocket Grunt, to be honest with you. But for the most part, the core of the deck is the same, and it's just very consistent, very good. This is the other one that also had basically the same record here. Still 2 Potions as well, which again is fairly interesting. I'm not going to lie. I think in this tournament format, there was a lot of Giratina Darkrai, which is probably why the Potion versions of this deck ended up doing well. No Red Card. This person was playing Mars as well, and they were playing 1 Team Rocket Grunt, which again is definitely good against some of the Misty decks. So yeah, Giratina 19 trainers. Been winning nonstop on ranked with that Gyarados deck. Going first or second still win. It's because Gyarados is very, very, very good for sure. So yeah, all interesting stuff here. There was what about this one, guys? What do you think of this? What can I have your opinions on this deck list right here? I don't know. This might be something that I play test. This is a bit awkward. This is more leaning into sort of the Dawn strategy. I'm not a big Arceus believer. The upside with Arceus is that you can attack for 3 energies, right? But you're not doing as much damage as things like Mewtwo for 4 energies. And again, you're a little bit reliant on, like the Dawn situations, right? So I don't know. This is an interesting one. It's just another flavor. Mew EX to me, I don't know if it's super relevant in the format right now. I just think that like you're able to take the KOs with other Pokemon. Like I mean, I guess Mew EX could be good. It's all about sacrificing like consistency in the core of the deck and then having, I guess, more alternate options, right? So, I don't think this is bad at all. I don't. I don't know if I would choose to play the deck like this as opposed to just sort of the standard Mewtwo and Giratina variant that we were seeing. Also, I think that 1 Giratina is odd because if you don't get that Giratina early in the game, then like you're behind. I think that the strategy is very reliant on getting that Giratina early with. Looks like you just set up what you're dealt and then you go from there. Yeah. What are the odds of somebody flipping 3 heads 3 turns in a row? I don't know. Honestly, a lot. 2 to the. I don't know. I haven't been in maths in a long time. Okay, so this is Weavile Darkrai. I actually have Weavile Darkrai extremely high on my list. I think it actually is sort of top 5 right now. I don't know how many people were playing in this tournament. That's the other thing we have to keep in mind. You know, there might have been, there might have been not as many people playing this deck. So, I mean, when we took a look at the standings, you know, we got to keep in mind, you know, how many people were playing these decks, and we kind of compare and contrast. Here's Charizard. This is Charizard. This is OG Charizard with a Sky Support Shaman, which I kind of like, actually, with X-Speed. And no red, no Iono. I don't know exactly what we're looking at here. Charizard is Charizard. You can't really justify anything about Charizard and try to make sense of Charizard. It just does exactly what it does, and there's not much you can really say about that, I guess. Yeah. Here's Disabers? I don't know what this guy's name was. This is Darkrai, Greninja, and Kangaskhan, which I actually think is pretty good in the format right now. I think that the games go late enough, and I think that bench damage is good enough that a deck like this actually has a lot more potential. It's just yet another top 10 deck, I think, contender in the format right now. It's kind of made a comeback, but I think the format is definitely a little bit more well-positioned for Greninja and Darkrai than it was, in the previous formats. So keep your eye out on Greninja Darkrai as well. Again, this is a deck that doesn't really play many new cards. There is one Iono, one Team Rocket Grunt. But, I mean, technically speaking, you don't really need any new Pokemon to play this deck, so... no Darkrai Giratina. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's quite a few. If we go down here, it's almost exclusively Darkrai Giratina. They just sort of, like, they basically have the same record. They went 6-1-1, which just means they tied their way into top cut. But, yeah, like, I wouldn't put any stock in the fact that these are, like, 24th place and these decks are in, like, 12th place. There's going to be a lot of these. It's probably the most common deck in day 2, if we're being honest with you. So, yeah, still definitely really, really good. And if we go down, actually, here's a Meowscarada Arceus. Let's take a look at a couple of grass decks. This is Meowscarada and Arceus. I think that this is definitely pretty good. A lot of attacking options here. As we saw, Meowscarada can be really, really clutch with Giant Cape. In fact, I think it kind of walls a lot of different matchups. And then if we go to this list here, this is just straight up classical aggro grass Arceus now, which I think is still good in the format, personally. I think Exeggutor is definitely good. There's a lot of decks that are good right now. We'll have to see, like, the cream of the crop will rise to the top. Spitting bars, but we'll see. I think a lot of decks are contending decks right now in the format. I think a lot of decks can win, for sure. As Darkrai Giratina, I feel like they're really good, but mostly defeated by Gallade and grass decks. That's another aspect of it as well. Like, you have that grass weakness, which is pretty impactful as well. Okay, so that's the standings, but let's take a look at the metagame and like the data, right? So Giratina and Darkrai EX was by far the most played deck here at 18.5% of a meta share, and it had basically a 50-50 win rate. There's a lot of ties here, so basically what this means is that all of these players here, all like 13 of these ties probably came from the last round, where people decided to just tie and then guarantee that they were both going to make it into top cut. That's really what that comes down to. So the win rate here definitely skewed a little bit in day 1. This was probably about a 51-52% win rate deck, truthfully. But also, when decks see a lot of play, they fall closer to 50% because they more often or not are facing it yourself, right? So that's how the data works, right? So I still think Giratina Darkrai is really, really good. Gallade as well here at 50% is interesting. A lot of games as well. I think Gallade is definitely really, really good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what to make, I guess, of this win rate here. I think both these decks, because they were so well played and probably faced each other a lot, but I also think that they're pretty like evenly positioned in the metagame as well. Gyarados here, a little bit higher of a win rate, even with, and this is what I'm talking about here. When I said that Gyarados is like the strongest deck in the game right now, I mean it, because Gyarados had a 52% win rate with 117 people playing Hitmonlee and Gallade, and 11 people playing Hitmonlee, Rampardos. Like, those are hard counters to Gyarados, and yet it still had a 52% win rate, which is very, very dangerous. For those of you people asking about Dialga and Arceus here, as we see, 39% win rate. So, like I said, I don't think it's bad. I just think that the metagame right now is definitely pushing away from Arceus decks in general, and Dialga especially. It just is heavily affected by things like red, while also being heavily affected by, Team Rocket Grunt and things like that. So I don't think we ever lost to a Dialga and Arceus. I think we beat one time after time. But yeah, Rampardos as well, only a 48% win rate. I don't think it's as good as Gallade, but I think if we are playing Rampardos, we should be playing Hitmonlee. That's my opinion. Weavile Darkrai, again, really respectable, about a 52%. These are smaller sample sizes for sure. Articuno struggled for sure. This is a small sample size. Don't put too much weight into these win rates, 56 and 64. Struggled this tournament at least. And then, yeah, Giratina and Mewtwo, kind of the far and away, strongest sort of viewing or outing here, which is 97 and 54, which is pretty substantial at a 63% win rate, which is very, very good. So like I said, Mewtwo, very good. It's well positioned. I think that there's a lot of counters to it for sure, but it's definitely really well positioned amongst some of these other top decks in the format. That is for certain. Meowscarada here and Charizard, both only 41, 42% win rate, so not super high, if we're being honest with you. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's kind of what I would expect, I'll be honest with you. And then Rampardos. So Rampardos with Hitmonlee, again, small sample size, but boosts it up to about 61%. So again, I think Hitmonlee is very, very impactful, I think, in the format. If we're playing fighting, we should be playing Hitmonlee. Am I going to go for one of the top 10,000 player ranks? I mean, maybe. I mean, I think it would be cool, but I'm not, like, super stressed about it. Again, I don't have a lot of time. Like, I can't be playing this game all day. I spend a lot of my time, playing Pokemon TCG Pocket, but instead of actually playing it, I'm like making videos about it, I'm talking about it, I'm researching the decks, like I'm doing stuff as it pertains to like content creation and like community stuff. I'm not necessarily like playing ranked battles all day. I'm not a streamer, so I think we're gonna leave that to the people with a lot of time on their hands who don't have a 2-year-old daughter at home, and who aren't sort of have more time, I guess, is that makes sense. It would be cool though, for sure. Which version of Giratina Mewtwo deck do you think is the best? Well, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I think it depends on, the day. I think it depends on the format. I think that the core of the deck is the same, and I think that the deck is going to function very, very similarly. What I'm leaning towards with Mewtwo and Giratina, because it is such a late game deck, that I like having one-of copies of a lot of these sort of different win conditions in various scenarios. As we saw, like playing Giovanni in the deck, even with 2 red, might be advantageous if there's a lot of Meowscarada in the format. Rocky Helmet, of course, maybe an extra Rocky Helmet could be better in the format as well. Things like blue for the mirror matches are definitely really, really good against things like Palkia. So blue could be really good. I think that Mars is always worth running. So, it depends, honestly. But I think that we'll talk a little bit more about it for sure on Monday once we really dive into things. And yeah. That's it. That's what we're doing. It's 10 o'clock, guys. I'm gonna end the stream. We're gonna get out of here. Yeah. Before you guys jump out, I just want to tell you guys that I really, really do appreciate it. This stream was incredible. I would stream more. This was a lot of fun. Again, I just don't really have that much time on my hands. I prioritize, uploading the video content to the channel above like live streaming. This was a special occasion where I had some time on my hands tonight, and I was able to live stream, but for the most part, live streaming is just not something that I'm typically able to do very often. But I do appreciate you guys making this such a fun night. So many of you guys came in, and the chat was awesome. So you guys are incredible. Stay tuned. We've got a video coming tomorrow. I think the video that I'm going to make tomorrow is probably on updating older deck lists, right? So there's a lot of new decks that we've talked about in today's video. That's what we talked about, but tomorrow, I think what we're going to make a video on is all of the old decks updated and upgraded with some of the new cards. So that's what tomorrow's video is going to be. And then that'll lead into Meta Monday, which of course I'm really excited about. And then Tier List Tuesday. Yes, we're getting back to it. We're going to be doing a meta tier list. That's where stuff gets spicy, guys. Once the tier list comes out and people rage and people comment and they say, there's no way that deck is B tier. There's no way that this deck is not S tier. That's when stuff gets spicy. Early format, it's going to get crazy, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I can't wait for the comments. It's going to be hilarious, but I'm really excited for that. Anyway, guys, peace out. Have a good one. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow in the videos. I don't know when I'll live stream next, but if you want to stay tuned for live streams, hop into the Discord, because that's probably where I'll be posting about the live stream. So anyway, thank you, Corrigan. Thank you, Clear Step. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to your Robo. Everybody, Tinu, Dasky, Ragnaroski, Fred, Ferd's there, Momochi. Shout out all of you guys, dude. Everybody, thank you so much. I had a great time. Yeah. Bye. See you later. Ending the live stream. We're getting out of here. M. Crate, shout out. Calvin, shout out. Shout out to all you guys. Peace out. Have a good one. Yeah. Jow, shout out Jow. I don't know how to end these videos. I really don't. Comrade, shout out. Well, how do I end this? What do we do? Is there like a button? Oh yeah, right here. End stream. All right. 3, 2, 1. Stream's ending. Peace out. Bye. See you later.